welcome the last king, the guest.
Keynote speaker ndio huyu. Anakaa hapa. Ama ni Let's settle down, girls. Let's be upstanding as we receive our guest. And we can welcome her with a clap. By the way, she's an ex-Bomarian, guys. So we welcome her like Bomarians. Cindy? Yeah. Yes. Karibu, welcome. Girls, we can receive our ex-Bomarian with a clap. Karibu. Miss Betty Murungi, karibu. Karibu, our principal. You're welcome. Wow. Let's give her a nice clap, Bomarians. Let's do it the BOMA way. Wow. Welcome. She's receiving a bouquet. Wow, I think she likes it. Beautiful, beautiful. Karibu, our chief guest. Oh, no, no, no. Wow, karibu, karibu. Thank you, ladies. Let's settle down, girls. Thank you, thank you. Girls, let us settle down in silence, please. Let us have silence, please. Thank you. Our chief guest, Karibu Sana, our principal, Karibu. Our other guests, our panelists, our teachers, and Reverend, we recognize you, all protocol observed. You're all welcome. Good morning. Good morning. I am your MC for the day. My name is Sharon Chahale. That's the one I used in BOMA. And now I use water. I'm an ex-Bomarian. Kitambo, before you guys were born, Sindio? I'm a Saganerian. Woo! Okay, I'll tell you more later. As we begin, I want us to start with the national anthem. Kindly let's be upstanding as we start with our national anthem. Guys, we cannot do our national anthem when we are making noise, right? Yes. Silence, please. We are going to be accompanied by the KHS Orchestra and Choir. Ilete baraka kwetu, haki iwe ngao na mlinzi, na tukae na undugu, amani na uhuru, raha tupate na ustawi. Tufanye sote bidii, nasi tujitoe kwa nguvu, nchi yetu ya Kenya tunayoipenda, tuwe tayari kuilinda. Ndio wajibu wetu, Kenya istahili heshima, tuungane mikono pamoja kazini, kila siku tuwe na shukrani. The East African anthem. Twaomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuwajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Thank you. We are going to have an opening prayer from Reverend Dr. Judy Kamau, our chaplain. Karibu, Reverend.
Yeah, thank you, our MC, our chief guests, members of the Alumni Association, our chief principal, administration, all invited guests, and our students, good morning. It's such a nice day. To serve is to reign. Education prepares you for service to God and service to man. And I would say that God created us to fit in a specific career. We are assisted by our mentors to be what we are created to be. We are also prepared by education, that for that case, BOMA, to be what God created us to be. We must fit in our career path. Let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you, Lord, for bringing our chief guests safely. Thank you for bringing our members of the Kenya High School Alumni Association, all the mentors safely. Thank you for bringing our administration safely. And thank you, Lord Almighty, for all the panelists and even our students who are here. You tell us to commit our plans to you, and they shall succeed. I commit this career, BOMA Career Day, to you. I pray that you take over in each and every session, that you speak to us, even as we listen to different people, God of heaven, and that you make it a great success. I commit each and every speaker to you. I pray that you use them to bless us as they guide us. Holy Father, I also pray that you bring those who are still coming safely. We lift up even our chief guest to you. Continue to bless her and to minister to her. Continue to bless the Alumni Association. Continue to bless our administration led by Madam Wahome. Continue to bless Kenya High School to continue to be at the top. I glorify your name and I worship you. I know that you have heard our prayers, because you say when we pray, you answer us. Be glorified in everything. In 2024, cause us to be the best, because we are created to be the best school in the country, all to your own honor and glory. As we start off this career day, I pray that may the Lord God of heaven bless each one of us and what we are going to do today. And may he keep us. May the Lord make his face to shine upon us and be gracious to us. May the Lord turn his face towards us and give us his peace. May the blessings of the Lord God Almighty, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit be upon us or remain with us during this BOMA Career Day, to the glory of his name. This we pray in the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you.
Let's give a clap to our Reverend. We may be seated. Thank you. Our choir, we forgot the school song or what happened? Are we going to do it now? Okay, let's do the school song. I like it. Okay, let's settle down and have our school song. Land of beauty, regal mountain, proudly point us to the sky. Land of flowers and sunlight islands, rising o'er savannah dry. Proudly thankful, we thy children, ever raise a humble cry. Savirius strictare, God give us grace to serve thee. Those who learn here grace and wisdom, share their gifts now far and wide. Like them glowing, wise and gracious, like a sun. In our hearts and oil. Savirius strictare, Savirius strictare. gathered here from many places, one in purpose all shall be. Banish fear, forgotten hatred, till we reign in liberty. And with wonder men discover faith in worldwide brotherhood. Saviri estricnari, Saviri estricnari. Help us, God of all creation, through our love and fear of Thee, daily learning truth and wisdom, make our country strong and free, free for life in all its fullness, strong for service to the land. Saviri estricnari, God give us grace to serve Thee. Wow, let's give it a clap. That's a beautiful song, eh? You see, some of us were here many years ago. We've forgotten some of the parts, but it's cool. We can have our seats now as we start our program. The school hymn. Oops. We will do the school hymn at the end, okay? I know Form 4s want to shout, those returning, eh? I know that. It started a long time ago. Okay, this is a beautiful day. We thank God for today. I told you my name is Sharon Chahale. I'll be your MC for the day. I want to send out a shout out to Saganerians. And then 2K2s. That was my class. And then 3S, 3. No, it was 3S3 then. 3S3s. No, 4S3s, sorry. 4S3s. I think that was the order then, if I'm not wrong, Mrs. Mwenda. Another shout out to Mrs. Mwenda. She was my teacher when I was in BOMA. And she's still here. Another shout out to, by the way, guys, tunatuma salamu sahi, ni kipindi ya kutuma salamu wewe. Another shout out to our principal. Shout out to her. Another shout out to our chief guest. You will know her a little more later, okay? A big shout out to our guests, our panelists who are here. Ayub, thank you for agreeing to come. I know you feel like a minority and mwalimu, eh? But you're good, you're okay. Shout out to you. Thank you for coming. Yeah? So we are going to have our remarks on the status of the KHS Career Counseling Program by Mr. Maina. Give him a clap as he comes. Thank you, Mwalimu. Karibu.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mr.
God is good and all the time. Thank you so much. Indeed, our God is great, and He has enabled us to have this year Career Day. Let me start by inviting all of us to Kenya High School Career Day 2024, sorry. You are all welcome. For the interest of time, I'm going to present the status of the department so that we save on time. The chief guest, Madam Betty Murungi, our chief principal, Miss Virginia Wahome, the two deputies, colleague teachers, the representative from the Kenya High Alumni Association, colleague teachers present, invited guests, students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. A warm welcome to the Kenya High School Annual Career Day. As we gather here today, we embark on a journey to explore the future in technology, entrepreneurship, and creativity as guided in our Annual Career Day theme. With the realization of rapid technological advancement, changing economic landscape, and high evolving industrial demands, the workspace is experiencing great changes, and therefore, one needs to have been well equipped to fit in the same. It is because of these dynamics, the Kenya High School, with the collaboration with the KHS Alumni Association, join hands in preparing the student in the current world careers. Today is a culmination of the preparation that have been put in place. We started the journey, or we started the journey with the Form 2 by inviting mentors from different career clusters to take them through what it takes to be in the career they want to pursue. And this one also facilitates their readiness in the subject selection, which we have already done with the current Form 2, and it also happened to the Form 4s that we have this year. Today's event aims at fostering a meaningful dialogue and provide valuable insights into this dynamic world of work. We have invited mentors who are experts in their professions, who will share their knowledge and experience, encouraging us to adapt and embrace work in various fields. Throughout the day, we will be engaged into trending topics, which will definitely have a great impact in our mindsets, skills, which will guide us in our career paths. This is therefore a platform that is going to assist us and also assist our students to embark in their career journeys. And therefore, we are urging individuals to take advantage and engage the resource persons so that they can gain valuable knowledge. To our students, I want to invite all of us to embrace the spirit of exploration, growth, and adaptability because of what is happening or the trends that are there in the world. And therefore, I want to urge all the Form 2s and the Form 4s to seize the opportunity so that they can be helped to shape their future and even the future of their work. With this remark, I want to welcome each and every one of us to feel free to take part and give your best, because this is the day that we had purpose to give for these girls. And girls, as I've said, let us seize the moment, seize the opportunity. The specialists that we are having today, they are experts. Tap the knowledge from them and you'll get benefit from what they have. Again, our chief guests, you are most welcome to the Kenya High School again, because you were once here as a student, but today you are coming here to give back to what you gained to this school. So you are most welcome. And to the rest of us, you are also much and most welcome. Thank you so much, and karibuni sana. Thank you.
Hello? Yes. Next, we are going to have welcoming remarks from our principal, Madam Virginia Wahome, and then she'll introduce any of the administration or BOM who are here. Karibu Mwalimu. Give her a hand clap, please. Welcome her. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you so much. Our chief guest this morning, Advocate Betty Murungi. Our chair, Kenya High School alumni, Madam Louise Nyamu Steinbeck. Our panelists, our MC, Madam Sharon Wata. Our Kenya High School staff who are present with us this morning. All invited guests. Form 2s and Form 4s of the Kenya High School, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. God is good, and all the time. I feel privileged to be standing in front of you this morning, and I want to welcome all of you to the Kenya High School. I want to tell you we are very happy to have all of you here. You have taken your time to come and share a moment with us to help guide these children as they take the path into the future. I'm calling them children because they are our children. And they look up to us for guidance and counsel. And that is the reason why we have gathered here today. So to all of you who have come to join us, welcome to BOMA. I would also like to thank the alumni for the good thoughts they have had for this institution. They always come back here, and every time they come, they leave a mark because of what they do for this institution. They have loved this school, they have loved our students, and that is the reason why they keep coming back, and every time with something better than the other time. So today, we are gathered here during this career day because of you. You organized this and you have made it happen. You have come because you want to talk to our Form 2s and our Form 4s as they make a decision on the subjects they are going to take, as they make a decision on the career they want to take. They will be well guided because you know better. You have been here before. You are out there. You are the professionals in this country, and you have come to share your knowledge with them. So this could not have happened at a better time. This is the best time that it is happening, and it is going to help these children as they make their choices. So the career that each one of these girls are going to take will determine who they become in future. If they make a wrong choice, then they are likely not to be happy for the rest of their lives. But if they make the right choice, then they will enjoy the world of work when they finally get out there. So I believe today is a day that is going to help them make that decision. Which career is best for me? What am I best suited to do? As they continue with their studies, this is going to help them direct their effort towards that which they feel they can do best. Looking at our theme of today's career day, thriving through the future, technology, entrepreneurship, and me. It is telling us a lot about what is happening in the world of work today. So these girls are going to leave the Kenya High School and they are going to get into the future. When they get out there, they are going to realize that the world has really changed technologically. Almost everything today is being done through technology. They're also going to realize that it is not everybody who gets there gets employed. You can become an entrepreneur and you can start your own business, you can do your own work. You can also become an employer. You don't have to go out there and get employed. And finally, who is me? How do you fit into this equation as an individual? So this theme of today is going to help guide these girls as they walk through the rest of the time that is remaining for them in Kenya High School. For the Form 2s, they have a longer period of time to make decisions. For the Form 4s, this is the time to make a decision. Very soon, KUCCPS will be telling you to fill in forms and to upload your information choosing careers that you want to take when you go to the university. Take today and take advantage of the opportunity given to you today. There are very many people who will talk to you. We have panelists who are going to talk to you. Pay attention, listen, pick something that will help you make up your mind in case you're still confused as to what career you want to take. When you go out there into the different rooms and you meet the different professionals, listen to them. Ask questions where things are not clear, so that by the end of the day, everything will be very clear to you. If you want to become a doctor, what do you need to do? If you want to become a journalist, what do you need to do? So today is the day that will help you to make that decision. I know it is going to be fruitful. I know it is going to benefit all of us. As the staff of the Kenya High School, we are very happy to have all of you and for you to come and take time to be with us and to help us guide these children. I want to give an apology of our chairman, Board of Management. He was not able to be with us and he wished us well. Same case to our PA, the Parents Association. They wished us well and they said they are together with us, and whatever we do, they know it is for the best interest of the girls. So they are very happy that this is happening. However, I would like to introduce the teachers who are with us. Our school is very large. We have, how many teachers? 86. But for now, we are at 92 because we have teachers on teaching practice. But they are not all here with us. Classes are going on, so we have just a few of the representatives. I'll start with my deputy principals. Kindly stand up. So those are the two deputy principals, starting with the deputy principal administration, Miss Washiori, and the deputy principal academics, Mrs. Munyoki. Teachers who are here with us. Teachers. I'll start with Reverend Kamau. She has just prayed for us. That's Reverend Kamau, thank you. She teaches CRE. And then I'll go to the other extreme end, Mr. Maina, our HOD careers, also a CRE teacher. And then behind there, Miss Chege, our German teacher and an old girl of Kenya High School. And finally, Mrs. Mwenda, HOD Geography, and an old girl of the Kenya High School. At the back, we have Mrs. Munuhe. That's our earhead Form 2. So she has also come to hear what her children are being told so that she can continue reminding them what they will have had today. So we really do appreciate these girls. This is your moment, and we are not going to take the moment from you. I am cutting my speech at that point because we would like to give you as much time as possible so that you'll be able to relate with the panelists. Our panelists, these are the beautiful girls of the Kenya High School. Brilliant, and I know they are going to engage you. Give them everything that you have brought, and I know they are going to take it into consideration as they make up their mind on the careers that they intend to take. Our chief guest, thank you so much, and you're welcome here at the Kenya High School. Every time I look at you and I remember 45 years ago, I still keep asking myself a few questions about the 45 years ago. We are glad to have you, and feel most welcome any other time that you would like to come and visit our institution. We will always receive you with open arms, and we are happy to hear the history that you have about the school and what you went through and how you became who you are today. As far as these girls are concerned, I know there are those who are looking up to you and they're like, when I grow up, I want to be like her. So thank you so much for coming to share with us, because it is going to give us a lot of inspiration and direction into where we are going. So be blessed, God bless you so much. Let us have a fruitful day. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you, Madam Principal. Hey, you guys, that clap. Eh? Woo! Okay, just two housekeeping announcements for our guests. The small room, so to speak, is behind this. This is the old dining hall. So if you go out to the right, the loos are there. They are labeled the gents and ladies. Okay, we can use that. For the students, we know where to go. We're going to junior corridor, right? Or senior corridor, right? I hope it's still senior corridor and junior corridor. Also, this plenary session is being streamed live by our team here. So just be aware of that we are on live stream. Wow, you're happy? Mnataka kukuwa famous? Mutaeka kwa TikTok. Okay. Now we have come to the time where we want to hear our keynote address from our guest of honor. Our guest of honor, Madam Senior Counsel. By the way, she'll tell you in our profession, I'm not supposed to speak before her. But since I'm the MC today, I spoke before her, so she has forgiven me. If we were in court, she would have the first chance to speak before me. Eh? So today I'm forgiven because I'm the MC, okay? She's a senior counsel and advocate, Madam Betty Murungi. She's a peace and social justice advocate. Of course, she's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. She has a long-standing career in the area of peace and social justice and equality. Currently, she serves as a professor at the University of London. She has, University of London. She has a very, very long CV. So because we want to save time, we will leave that one. Maybe she'll tell us a bit here and there in her speech, right? But this is the one I want us to hear. She joined Form 1 at the Kenya High School, BOMA, in 1974. That is 50 years today. Yeah. She's redefining the mathematics, okay? She was, okay, listen to this, guys. Listen to this. So when she came to Form 1, by the way, she was in BOMA at the same time with my mother. Same periods. She was placed in Nightingale, which is currently... Shout out to Yala House. She was also in Baden-Powell and Mitchell, BP. And also in Susua House. That's what I see. Okay, let's settle down. I know you're excited. So she was here between 74 and 79. Wow, okay. At BOMA, she served as BOMA 1. She served as the head of school. Now you call it, I hear, the president of the Students' Council. Allah? Okay, it has changed. She's an active alumni of the Kenya High School, and most recently she was involved with her class efforts to restore school pianos. A clap for her. And a major uplift for the Joint School Society Music Program. The Alumni Society, Madam Betty, is honored that you heeded our invitation to serve as the patron, and you are overwhelmingly elected at the AGM, so we are really glad that you heeded the call. This is your time. Come and talk to us, Madam. Karibu. Give her a hand clap. Stand up. We give her a good clap and welcome her. Welcome. Wow, beautiful. We are glad to have you.
Thank you. We may be seated. the principal, Ms. Wahome, the deputy principals, our teachers, honored guests, and the most honored guest, the student body. Good morning. First, let me make a few corrections. I was not here 50 years ago. I was here 45 years ago. Only 45 years ago. I like to break down my life in chunks of 10 years. That way, 45 years doesn't seem so much. So in 1974, my parents dropped me off outside what was then Nightingale House, now Yala House. Shout out to Yalans, where we were introduced to our then house matron and our house mistress. We used to have a matron and a house mistress. And she checked us in. And on that day, those of us who came into the school were 12, 13. The young ones were 12, the older ones were just turning 13. I made lifelong friends. Some of those girls I met during the second week of January 1974 are my friends to this day. Many of the teachers I met then have remained my career mentors, have remained my sponsors, and I'll be speaking a little bit about the difference in those two up to this day. So no experience is wasted. Those of you who are in Form 2, the friends you made last year and the friends you will continue to make, your teachers, your house mistresses, the people who work in this school will remain in some kind of a relationship with you for the years to come. Sharon has told you that I was also in BP House. Shout out to BPians. When we were in Form 3, we used to have, I don't think you have them anymore, but Form 3s were seniors. And once you entered Form 3, you were entitled to live in a cubicle. We had cubies, we used to call them cubies. And so you left the dorms and went into the cubicles. Now our house, Yala House, had too many Form 2s. So when we entered Form 3, we were too many of us in my house. And the matrons and the principal then decided they were going to transfer 3 girls from Yala House to BP House. Of course, we were very loyal to our houses then. Nightingale House, Yala House then didn't do very well. We never won something that is, we used to call Cock House. I know things have changed. But at the time, we even had the chaplain, Reverend Vale, come and say special prayers for us. Anyway, 3 of us were transferred to BP House, and they picked the 3 girls from Nightingale House who would not give, not protest too much. Because we were very strong-willed, we went kicking and screaming, but we went to BP House where we stayed until we finished Form 4. Now, we had a senior house, which was only for Form 5s and 6s, and for prefects. I think it's now called Suswa House. Then we called it Mitchell House. So I moved to Mitchell House, and as head of school, all the heads of schools lived in Mitchell House, and we had, it was just a house for seniors, very civilized. We had coffee in the house. It was, we were all 17 and 18-year-olds in that house. So that's the history. Now, the next 10 years of my life, I went to university. I graduated alongside many of my classmates from here. Some of us actually went all the way into the law faculty, and we graduated in 1984. That's the end of the next 10 years of my life. And between 84 and 94 was working, discovering yourself, starting a family, earning the first lot of money that you'd ever earn. And in the next 10 years, by 2004, I had finished having children. Imagine it will happen. It happens in 10-year batches. In 2004, I went back to school. You know why? I was curious. I thought, well, I've done this law thing. It was interesting for a little while. And then I went back to school because I wanted to know what's on the other side. I took some classes in theology, even. I went to a university that allowed me to audit many, many other classes, and I realized that there's so much I didn't actually know. And I had been thinking I'm really quite smart. So in 2015, another batch of 10 years, I decided to go to South Sudan and work there because, again, my experience needed to expand. I had worked in the West, I had worked in the United Nations as a consultant, I had worked in Geneva, in New York, many places, but I decided there's something I also don't know. Let me go to South Sudan and see what's there. And so I did that. The next 10 years, which is now 2024, I became a grandmother. That's the short story of my life. Now, to why we are here today. The reason we are here today is because it's Careers Day. And we are to speak to you about, what I make of these careers. First, let me just say you are so lucky that your school administration and the alumni society, led by our amazing Louise Nyambura, big hand to her, has partnered with the school to make this Careers Day and to make career mentoring a thing. In our time, we didn't have such a day. We had advisors. Our teachers were our advisors. We would go to the teacher that you liked, and we all have favorite teachers, isn't it? All of us have them. And the one that tends to be your favorite is the one that likes you. Or the one that is the teacher of the subject that you like. Okay? So you tend to do very well. But some teachers also seek out certain students, maybe the shy ones, and they will advise you. So we all had those teachers who would look out for you, and we would go to them and say, so what do you think I should do? And your teacher would tell you, perhaps, this is where your strength is, consider this. Then you'd go and check with your parent. But we tended to listen more to our teachers, and by and large, they actually pointed us in the right direction. So do not ignore what your teachers tell you. They see things that you do not see. You know that saying about elders seeing things when they're sitting down that you cannot see when you're on top of a tree? It's actually true. It's a true story. So we would take advice from our teachers, consult with our parents, and then you do what you're told. So if you're good in languages, for example, you'd be told, okay, perhaps you could be a great teacher, or you could be a lawyer, and so on. And so that's what happened. Your parents would say, you know, you've studied sciences, and so therefore you should be an engineer or a doctor. And you ended up doing that. And then we didn't have so many professions, right? We had like 5 main ones. You could either be a teacher, you could be a lawyer, you could be an architect, or you could be an engineer or a doctor, you know, and that was it. We didn't have all of these fancy career paths, these exciting, innovative career paths that you have now in technology, in policy, there's so many things that you do. My daughter graduated university about maybe 6 years ago, and she went and did a master's in public policy. But when she went to work, she was working in investment banking, you know, because she was able to study a lot more outside of her discipline. And I think this is what Ms. Wahome was urging you in terms of thinking about what else you can do. So my first point, and I'll make 4 points and hopefully finish talking by the time 20 minutes up. Career progression is not linear. Keep that in mind. It is not linear. For example, I studied law. I ended up in human rights. I'm a human rights professional. Sharon referred to me as senior counsel. Actually, that is a designation that is given by the Law Society. I am her senior, so I am senior to her. But there are very few senior counsel in this country that are designated by the Law Society. And these are lawyers who, you know, have gained seniority either by being chairpersons of the Law Society of Kenya, or they're just senior. They're, you know, by practice, and it is something that you apply for, and you have to show that you have many, many years of practice. I practiced law for maybe 15 years, and then I decided that my path was in defending the human rights of women to begin with. And so myself and many other women formed the Association of Women Lawyers in Kenya, FIDA Kenya. I'm sure some of you have heard about it. And we defended women. We provided legal services at no cost to them. And that is where I found my interest lay. So using my law for the benefit of others. To serve is to? And so this is where my interest lay. If you see my name written anywhere, you see some numbers, some letters after it, MBS, Moran of the Burning Spear. That is an award I received in 2002 from the then president of Kenya. Not for being a lawyer. If you read the citation, it was for service to the nation in the field of human rights. So that, therefore, is what I decided to use that education for. So I branched out and I studied human rights law. I did peace and transitional justice. And so in that decade when I was doing human rights and transitional justice, Ayub's colleagues were inviting me to on their television sets to speak about the International Criminal Court, for example, transitional justice, because that is what I was doing, and that is what I ended up doing in South Sudan. So career progression is not linear. Keep that in mind. Second, maintain a sense of curiosity, always. Don't go and study medicine and therefore then you think you can never think about anything else. No. Education is never ending, and you must always retain your sense of curiosity. And as you retain your sense of curiosity, don't forget about yourself. What interests you? When you're studying a discipline like, I don't know, Maybe law is not that difficult actually, and it's quite interesting. It's like storytelling. But some of it might be, some of you might go to university to study, I don't know, something tough, mathematics maybe. Which one? Engineering. It's tough, right? So you must maintain a sense of yourself. What keeps you happy? For me, it was art. When I was in Kenya High School, we had a great art teacher. I really wanted to study art, and then my teachers told me that, so what are you going to do with art? Who's going to buy your drawings? You know, you can't, with all your smarts, you can't go and do art. Yeah, and art, the one of drawing, that's what I love to do. So I continue doing it up to today. For some of you, it might be poetry. You write poetry, you do things, you act. Maintain a sense of yourself. Also, retain your spirituality. Get a spiritual mentor. Reverend Judy is here. You may not be in school, but you should have somebody who is like a spiritual guide, because that will center you even as you pursue your career. The third thing I want to tell you is that you must commit to finish what you start. There are many people who go to university, then after 1 year they decide, hii siwezi. No. You don't do that. You start something, finish it. Try and commit to achieving your ambition. And your ambition is not the degree. Don't make a mistake about that. Your ambition is not your degree. Your ambition is to get to a place where you have been roundly educated, you have received an education, an all-round education, not books, not book education. You will go out there into the university and you find that there is opportunity for learning things outside of your discipline. Seek those opportunities. The same way I went back to school at 45 and went to attend theology classes, it's because I wanted to understand. I mean, I don't think Reverend Judy should be the only person who understands the genesis of those writings. I wanted to know, so who wrote this book? Because certainly Jesus didn't write the book. I needed to know how the Bible was being interpreted and what those stories meant. Again, going back, learning, opportunities to learn and to know more. The fourth thing, and this is happening today, seek mentors. Seek. People don't just appear from nowhere and become your mentors. You must seek them out. You will meet some mentors this afternoon, but some of your mentors are sitting right here. I mentor a lot of young women and young men, I have to say, but they seek me out and they mentor me in return. There is no mentoring relationship where you don't learn from each other. I like young mentors because, believe it or not, they keep me young. You learn so much from the young people that you mentor. But you, as the ones that are seeking the mentors, take the opportunity also to be in that mentoring relationship. You learn, you commit to it, you make the time for it. Now, a mentor is somebody who will walk with you, who will be your sounding board, and who will also hold you accountable. The other kind of a mentor, who is not a mentor, sometimes we mistake, is who we call sponsors. Attract a sponsor. A sponsor is that person who will speak your name in rooms that you will never enter, right? So that sponsor is the person that you need to attract, you need to impress by the way you do your work. And that person is the person who will speak your name in rooms you will never access. At least you will not have accessed that room before your sponsor speaks your name there. So of course you will ask, so how do I attract that sponsor? Once you decide on your career path, which as I have told you may not be linear, then you will see the people in that career that you're interested in who will be able to be your sponsors. All of us have sponsors. Those of you who will, and many of you will get into professions where you actually start at the bottom. Very few of us start at the top. And if you start at the top, then there is problem. There might be some corruption going on. Most of us start at the bottom, and as you build your way up, you will meet those sponsors. Now, to finish, I just want to say that we are very, very privileged, all of us that have walked these halls, that have walked the senior and the junior corridors here, that have worshipped in that chapel, that have lived in these dorms, because we have a family that is so vast. We have such a big family, and not just in Kenya. I was saying to the principal earlier that in all the countries I have been, in all the places I have worked, whether it's at the United Nations in Geneva or New York, whether it's at The Hague, whether it's in South Sudan, whether it's in Rwanda, Liberia, Uganda, all of these places, there is nowhere I have been where I haven't met a Kenya high school girl. There is absolutely nowhere you will go in this world that you will not meet an alumni of this school. They will come up to you. Of course, I have to say that because I was head of school here, that there are many, many girls who are my juniors who know who I am, who will come up to me and introduce themselves. But that is the Kenya High way. We seek each other out. You will go and see somebody who was in your school, and you will go up to them and say, hi, my name is so-and-so. I was in Kenya High. I'm a Bomarian. That's what sets us apart. That is what we learned here. When we say we learned here grace and wisdom, it is true. And we have taken our gifts far and wide. Our school song comes to mind every time I think about my own career and about your own career. What does it say? You serve, and this was repeated here by the principal, service to humanity, service to country, and above all, service to God. Let us go out there, let us serve each other, let us serve God, and let us be the best version of ourselves. That is the word I want to leave here with you. Lastly, let me just say, Kenya High School is at the top of the academic game. You come first. You are ranked number 1. I think you've been ranked in the top 2 or the top 3 over the last few years. Many years you've come number 1 in your exam rankings. But let me tell you, when you go to university, you will find people who are smarter than you. Always. There will always be that person. There will always be a different way of thinking. Some of you will go to universities abroad. You will find that those kids there underwent a different system of learning, which prioritized different things. You will have to be innovative. You will have to adjust to a different style of learning. And so prepare to meet people who will be smarter than you, who will have had different experiences than you have had. And so prepared to meet challenges. Challenges will always be there. But also ensure, even as you meet those challenges, you enjoy, try and enjoy what you're doing. I'll not tell you, choose a career that you're passionate in. People don't eat passion. Passion doesn't put food on the table. So we long stop telling people that choose something you're passionate in. No, 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 no. Find something, do it well, and develop passion for it, if that's what is going to get you to put food on your table and to take care of yourself and to serve your country. In closing, let me just say that what I've found very useful is to align yourself with people who are better than you, who are smarter than you. Pick your 5 friends. If you're the smartest in that group, there's a problem. Align yourself with people who challenge you, who will want to make you better, and who will want to make you feel that there's still something that you can reach out for. I'm really looking forward to listening to the panelists and hearing about all of these new exciting careers that they have followed and that they have become, leaders in. And I look forward to interacting with all of you for the rest of the day. Thank you very much for your attention.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Makofi. Woo! Wow. That was beautiful. I was also listening. I was also learning something, yeah? Now, ladies, let's settle down. Were you listening? Yes. What did she say the 4 things were? 1, 2, maintain a sense of curiosity. 3, pardon? Commit to finish what you start. And 4, did you understand her seeking mentors and having sponsors? Did you understand her use of the word sponsor? Not the way we know it, Cindy. She used it differently, isn't it? So the sponsors we are looking for are different. And the mentors we are looking for are different. I forgot to tell you, I am an intellectual property lawyer. So when you're doing your rounds, anybody interested, please come and talk to me. I also deal with creatives. I'm now a public servant and I deal with the creative industry. So if you're interested in that, be sure to come. Sawa? Be sure to come. I'm going to call the Kenya High School Orchestra and Choir for some entertainment, and then we'll move on from that. A clap for them as they prepare.
Chakutumaini sina ila damu yake Bwana, sina wema wa kutosha dhambi zangu kuziosha. Kwake Yesu nasimama, ndiye mwamba ni salama, ndiye mwamba salama milele na milele na milele na milele na still all my soul shall be near my God to thee. Kwake Yesu nasimama, ndiye mwamba ni salama, ndiye mwamba salama milele. Though like a wanderer, the sun goes down, darkness be over me, thou rest my soul. Angels to beckon me, nearer my God to thee. Kwake Yesu nasimama, ndiye mwamba ni salama, ndiye mwamba salama milele. Na milele, na milele, na milele, na milele, na milele. Glory for joyful wings, leaving the skies. Kwake Yesu nasimama, ndiye mwamba ni salama, ndiye mwamba salama milele na milele, na milele, na milele, na milele, na milele, na milele, na milele.
I now want to introduce our chair of the Alumni Society. She's also an ex-BOMarian, and she'll tell you which house and which class. Madam Louise Nyamu Steinberg, I think that's the name. Karibu, take it from here.
Hello, BOMarians! How are you today? You know my face, so I'm not going to introduce myself. And you know, every time I come here, I can make a lot of noise and I can talk for forever. I'm so glad to be back here with all of you. Once again, I tell you, when we walk into this hall, Betty, Sheker, all the BOMarians here can attest, there's like a feeling that we get. You know, Mrs. Wanjohi, the chief principal, would come here and say, girls, sit down. Everyone just crumbles. You know, you find your space on the floor. Yeah, woe unto you if you are not a blue rag who had a chair. Yeah? So, yeah, the blue rag still sit on chairs. So you left scrambling on the floor at Form 2 or Form 3. But it's great to be here, and we're glad that even we've seen that this was renovated a bit. This is very, very old ground we're on. Yeah, so if you can imagine, Advocate Murungi here was here also, and you are here. Since 45 years ago, in quotes, 45, we leave it at 45. For me, I'm not going to say much. I actually want to introduce a very fine gentleman here who is going to moderate your panel for today. And I'll tell you where I asked Sharon to give me the mic. Ayub Abdi Kadir Abdi, please come. Please. You all know this man? Now, do you see what Bomarians we do? We bring you such people. Huh? I'll tell you why I've requested to introduce this gentleman. Because he is the epitome of excellence. The epitome of taking lemons and making lemonade. Because where he has come from, you just see him here talking with Kinai HE like it's normal, yeah? He has come from very, very far to get to where he is. The first time I met this gentleman was in the year 2018. And we were doing, who was here 2018? Vivian Kasana. We did Career Day here. And we went to the station he was working in, Ebru TV. You were an intern still. He was still an intern at Ebru. And he interviewed us. Let me tell you, I was looking at this guy like, which planet did he come from? Because the absolute precision that he had, his research was so deep. He knew everything. He knew which questions to ask. He knew how to moderate us. He knew how to pinpoint us. He knew how to challenge us for every single person who was there. We were there thinking, this will be easy. What? We left sweating. And I remember I told Ayub, you're going to go far. I told you that. I told him he's going to go far. His trajectory is so big. And that is why I'm so glad that he agreed to come. I don't take it for granted, Ayub. There are other people who would not have come. And I know you have a big program. You are an important person. You have big things to do. Did you see him in America? Woo! At the White House, asking those questions. You saw him with neither fear nor favor. This is what you can all be. So I just want to give him a few minutes to just say something about himself, and then we're going to welcome the panel. Okay?
Thank you. So allow me to greet you with the Islamic greeting, which more or less is a reflection of what Reverend told us. May the peace and the blessings of the Almighty God be upon all of us. I am in such familiar territory because where I come from, my home, I am more or less a minority because my wife is a woman. I am also taking care of two girls whom my late sister, when she passed the responsibility over to me. I'm expecting my firstborn daughter on the 22nd. So I am in a familiar territory. Na nimeshukuru, I am very happy. I'm very happy to be here because I am a firm believer in education and the impact it can have, on societies across the world. We first met with Luis in 2018 when I worked for an organization which is a media outlet called Ebru TV. based along James Gishuru Road in Lavington. And then I was an intern in the course of that time of my career. We did that interview with her. I still have the photos. Thereafter, in the subsequent years, she spent some time in Germany, then she came back. But I always looked forward to coming here. So when she mentioned about today's event, on Monday or Tuesday, I told her, don't worry, relax, I'll come. Hakuna pressure. So I am happy to be here. Therefore, and also receive greetings from Olive Barrows, my colleague, who was a student here. She is an old girl of here. She was supposed to be here, but because of the program that she has today, she has excused herself. So I'm happy to meet Senior Counsel Betty, the Principal Secretary, the other members of the Alumni Association, the beautiful faces here. And we are living in a very critical time where the young voices in this country, you included, are very cognizant of what's happening around them because of education. Sindio? There are privileges, probably Senior Counsel Betty, during their times, maybe because of the internet connectivity, maybe because of the platforms that were not there, that they might not be informed about what was happening at the time or them being informed about their environment. But today, within the touch of a button, you have everything by your palm, isn't it? And then in the course of this, I'm sure there are some of you who aspire to be journalists, isn't it? Si rahisi, but we will talk nyuma ya tent. Si namna hivyo? Therefore, I'm happy to be here. I have dedicated this day to listen to those of you who are interested. We'll be having a panel discussion to sikia wale wengine watatuambia nini, and then we bring it down to your level so that if you had concerns, if you want further emphasis on a specific area, if you wanted to understand more about certain profession, then the panelists will be telling us. They will be in a better and firm position to tell us. So happy to be here, happy to be amongst you, happy to see all these happy faces, and I am always as optimist, I am always, that the future of this country is great, courtesy of education, and you are the young Kenyans who will break the barriers of the challenges that we as a country have had in the past. Because we no longer identify ourselves by your tribes. Does anyone care about where your partner comes from or your classmate? Isn't it? The one common objective here is education. Your paths may be different after here. Many of you will be subscribing to different professions. But again, as Senior Counsel mentioned, the lifelong relationship is what you will have to preserve. Because even at the different professional levels, you still will be interacting and getting back to the school. I studied in Wajir County for my primary and high school education, came to Nairobi for my university education. I meant primary and secondary. Things are not as smooth as they are here in counties that are in the northern frontier. Mandera, Wajir, and Garissa, because I was telling some of the school administration members here that there are some privileges that you have that some other people may not. So here the climatic condition is favorable, you have enough teachers, and you have enough facilities, so there is no reason for you to not be excellent in your career. And there are many other determinant factors when you get out of here because of the discipline required in the job market, because of the expectations that the society has, that again, after here, you will be at another level where a world awaits you with its fair share of challenges, other than now you being here within the confines of the Kenya High School. Because you will be within a society and a framework where you will have to be the best. As the Senior Counsel mentioned, maybe the persons you will meet at the university or your colleagues at the higher level education might be sharper, smarter, and brighter than you. But what keeps you going is the degree of discipline that you always display in your life. And then thereafter, there is the other level where you will have a partner in your life. I'm talking about marriage life. Senior Counsel also mentioned it requires a set of discipline. Because when you unaishi hapa, huko kwa ground mambo ni different. So mine is to appreciate the beauty of this institution, which has channeled a galaxy of professionals who have had impact in their own professional frameworks. And what binds all of you together here is the quest for education. I'm sure a majority of you come from backgrounds that are humble, but because of the opportunity that the Kenya High School offers, you will be someone in tomorrow's society. So the aspect of discipline, number one, you only fear God even before discipline, isn't it? So some people had asked Dr. Lewis and Senior Counsel and Madam Principal, kwani wewe hauogopangi ukiuliza hizi maswali? So I tell them, as long as there's objectivity and you are fair, there's no problem. Haya mambo mengine tuta address. And above that, as a Muslim, I pray 5 times a day. It means I submit to God 5 times a day. So kuna kuogopa binadamu? But if I get back to my Bible again, because as a Muslim I have to be very religious, God tells me, after you believe in me, you ask for whatever you want. Next, and it's a must, it's an order, it's a directive actually. You must respect the institution of parenting. Explicitly mentioned in the Quran. The Old Testament and the Quran in many ways reflect each other. For example, I'm called Ayub. Ayub is Job in the Bible, isn't it? Because of the patience that he had displayed when he was going through sickness and other challenges of life. The story of Joseph and his brothers, Noah and the ark. In fact, I cannot be a complete Muslim without believing in Jesus. And the Quran has an entire chapter called Mary or Maryam, the mother of Jesus, and talks about his miraculous birth. So religions, mainstream religions in the world, advocate for one thing, that you believe in the Almighty God. If you do that, then you respect the institution of parenting, and then underneath that comes the people who are your guardians, your teachers, or any other person taking care of you, and you respect other people, then you have nothing to lose in this life. Mambo mengine yote itajisort. Tumelewana mpaka hapo? So any profession will demand that portfolio upon which you have to thrive. Your teachers are very important in your life. At the primary level, you are handled. At the secondary level, you are now handled. At the university, yes, there is a degree of maturity in you, but still you'll need some guidance around what to do and what not to do. So in the entire process of your life, you have not been without God, your parents, and your teachers. It's paramount, therefore, that you show discipline and dedication to them. Mzazi hata hahitaji mambo mengi at times. Just speaking to them nicely. Unawajulia hali. In future, you'll realize these things kidogo kidogo. Actually, I'm sure when most of you get married, mzee akitoa kitu kidogo, anakuambia tumia madhe. So he means, for example, my mother now. It will be better off if it's 30,000, I divide in between, nipatie 15 mama, wife atume, na mimi nitume 15. If I send the 30, there can be an assumption, by the way kijana yangu angenitumia mingi, labda wife amechukua zingine. You get my point? So parents are special people in our lives. Even if your mom attains 100 years and you are 85, she will still consider you a kid. Yet all of you are growing older. That is the beauty of life. So my journey started back in Wajir. Came to Nairobi for my university education. I did my internship at Ebru TV for 1 year, then thereafter got employed for 1.5 years. I moved on to K24 in 2021, August, worked there for exactly 11 months. And then I moved on to Citizen TV, where I'm still working. Now I'll be marking my 2nd year, September. The story mentioned by Louise, and I'm sure most of you have seen what happened on the 23rd of May at the White House, the East Room to be specific, is something I'll write a book about, is an element that any professional journalist has to embody, of seeking accountability with no regard for where you are, who the person is, as long as the occupant of that position is a state property. I always say, we have got no problem with a private citizen who is living in his home or her home, but we have every reason to question anyone who holds public office on accountability basis without subjectivity. And that's how we grow our country, sindio? Because whatever we have to manage them well. Hata nyumbani kama kuna budget saizi ukipatiwa pocket money, so you have to manage yourself. You can't overspend, isn't it? Na uvai kukaa njaa, unatumia kidogo kidogo, but you have to manage and balance your budget. So it's all about accountability, objectivity, and fairness as we build our country. So I'm happy to be here, happy to be part of this very beautiful faces here today on this important day, Career Day. For those of you who are interested, you want to know anything about the field of journalism, I'm here. You have queries about an issue in terms of the specifications, the print and the broadcast units, what goes into that, the production part, I'm here to answer all your questions. The panelists watatuambia pia on their part, we'll have a question and answer session, though we'll limit because of time, but the whole of the day, you'll be going to the respective persons to gain more knowledge. Therefore, I am happy. Consider me part of your son here at the Kenya High School. Therefore, asante sana. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we now, at the best interest of time, call on to the stage my members of the panel, Engineer Winfred Mutinda, Head of State Commendation. She is an energy engineer with Ketraco. Thank you, Karibu. Your name is somewhere. Must be this one, yeah. Also, we have Engineer Wamboi Kibathi, Registered Consulting Engineer, the Engineers Board of Kenya. So our two beautiful engineers will be specifying on science, engineering, technology, and mathematics, because we have themed the discussion. Ms. Washeke Ndwati, the founder, Centonomy. She's an alumni as well, class of 1994. Alikuwa foreman ya Miss Louise. Mr. Ken Mlamba. Lutheran classical guitarist. And then finally, we have Ms. Zeppelin Ouma. She's a wellness coach. So we'll have, according to the program, we are supposed to have this discussion for an hour. And then thereafter, we'll have a question and answer session. At that session, we'll be limiting because of time. Then thereafter, you can engage the panelists because they will be around in seeking more information and clarity. So basically, this is going to be an informative discussion to hear from them as to the specific themes in the field of STEM, finance, planning and entrepreneurship, creativity and craftsmanship, and then wellness and well-being, because it's an informative piece to help you understand more and expound your thinking in terms of knowledge, and where you are able to pose a question, please do so, and to the specific person who is on set with us here. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I appreciate your company, and most of you are old girls here, so therefore, pleasure to have you again. So let's begin on this very important subject of STEM, and Engineer Winfred, coming to you first. How key is this field in the contemporary world, given the advancement in technology, given the tech, how young people are tech savvy, the changing dynamics in terms of the trends? How key is the area of STEM?
Good afternoon, Kenya High School. Good morning. Good morning. So first, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Winfred Mutinda. I work as a transmission system planning engineer at KETRACO. KETRACO is Kenya Electricity Transmission Company Limited. I'll be 10 years at KETRACO in October 2014, having joined in September 2014 as a graduate trainee at KETRACO. Can you hear me now? Sorry about that. Oh, this is much better. So first, before I start, it said that never admire quietly. And I want to congratulate the management of Kenya High School for this event. I'm very passionate about mentorship. This is what I do on a daily-to-daily basis, in addition to my engineering career. Thank you so much, Senior Counsel, for your presence in this meeting today. And thank you for sharing those nuggets of wisdom. So for me, I came here, and as Ayub has said, I've worked in the field of STEM for almost 10 years now. Graduated from the University of Nairobi, and then proceeded to do a master's in public policy at the University of Oxford in 2020-2023. So my message here today, just before I talk about Ayub, is a very simple message, that STEM is rewarding, fulfilling, and exciting for women. And then I come to Ayub's question on why STEM is so important in the contemporary society. For those who are wondering what STEM is, maybe I don't want to assume. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And we all know that STEM plays a very crucial role in solving most of the pressing challenges in the world currently. So it is careers, or it's a field that is very crucial when it comes to giving solutions to most of the challenges that we are facing currently as a society. And these challenges could be very diverse, they're very multidimensional. If we look at the challenges that we've faced initially, I want to refer to the COVID-19 pandemic. And if you look back into 2020, you will realize that the STEM field played a very crucial role in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. We saw the collaboration between engineers, scientists, innovators, and all these other mathematicians, statisticians who were able to predict the models that are needed to look at how COVID-19 will evolve in the coming days during those years. So, I mean, you cannot ignore STEM, because STEM actually solves most of the global solutions. And to just add to this, We know it's a male-dominated field, but I always say that women are best suited to be in the STEM careers. And this is because women have a human-centered approach to solving problems. I mean, if you look at our feminine nature, we are naturally very empathetic. And this is what we need in society, putting that empathetic nature into the solutions that we give. We are mothers, we are caregivers. And we always look at solutions, not from just a personal perspective, but from a societal perspective. So that is why I would say STEM is very crucial in the contemporary society.
Thank you. My name is Wambui Kibathi. I'm a water and sanitation engineer, currently working with a consulting firm called Howard Humphreys Consulting Engineers. And I have been with them for the last 14 years. And it has been a great experience doing the work that I do. As I said, I am a water and sanitation engineer, which means that I make sure you have water in your taps. I'm sure many of you wake up in the morning, you open your tap, you brush your teeth, you cook your food, with some water, you wash your clothes, you wash your dishes. But have you ever stopped to think about, how did this water get here? That I'll turn my tap, there's water. When I flush the toilet, where does that go? So I deal with that whole process. We collect water from the river, we treat it, we distribute it to the homes, the offices, the schools, and once it is flushed down the toilet or goes down the drains, we collect that water, we treat it, we send it back to the river. So we deal with that whole cycle. But do not be worried. We make sure that it has attained the required standards before it goes back. And now, speaking about the contemporary, the question that you asked, if I think about what I have just spoken about and STEM, we solve daily problems, daily challenges. So, I make sure you have water. My fellow engineer makes sure you switch on the light and, there's power in the house. So when I think about that and I think about where the world is going now, and especially when we start looking about things related to climate change, it's a major thing that we need to focus on and consider. And STEM are the people those who are in STEM are those who are best suited to deal with these issues. We shall be dealing with floods. We shall be dealing with drought. To get electricity, we need either it's hydropower, we need groundwater for those that use the steam turbines. So how do we make sure that we protect our environment and the world from these changes that are coming? We innovate solutions that will help us and cushion us from those problems that will come about with the climate change.
Ms. Washeka on the far end, and I'm sure they are taking notes, so specific questions to specific persons, and they will be responding to those questions promptly. Ms. Washeka, in the field of financial planning and entrepreneurship, is this the next frontier? Is this the frontier to end the dependency on the white-collar jobs because of the shrinking market space, yet we have graduates who are getting out of the universities? And what's your message in those who are willing to be the new subscribers to entrepreneurship and the field of financial planning?
Can you hear me? Okay. Is it afternoon or it's still morning? Good morning. Yala in the house. Class of 1994 here. It's so good to be back. My name is Washeka Ndwati. I was in 1994, I was those singing, those returning. And I'm having such a moment of nostalgia being back here, where I'm even confused. Should I be sitting behind there? What am I doing here in front? But students, you look amazing. Thank you to Louise for having this, to the principal. And I continue to love this school. So well done to all of you. So, thank you. To answer Ayub's question, let me link it back for you with what happened after Kenya High School for me. So I'll answer it, but through my own journey. So I left, like you all are about to leave. Some of you are about to make career choices. And I went into university. I went to USIU. I don't think I quite knew what I wanted to do. So for me, when I left Kenya High School, I was a good student, but I was not the best. I was a good sports person, but not the best. So to all of you who find yourself somewhere in between, don't worry. It's okay. Not everybody will get the certificates on this stage all the time. Not on this one stage. Yeah? So if you sometimes wonder, why am I not in front? Let me tell you also what happens to the people who are not always in front. So I went through this phase where I didn't know. So I did a general bachelor's in business administration. I literally went to the university and just ticked a box. I did not have the opportunity you have now to have mentors sit in front of me and tell me what it could be like. And after that, I did a master's that was in banking, somewhat in banking and somewhat in professional accounting. So I assumed my career would be in banking. So I started working at a bank. And as I was working, first I worked for an investment advisor, then a bank, but it was the same financial industry because I thought that's where I would end up. And let me tell you, it was a fantastic start. So even for those of you who think entrepreneurship, some of you it may come fast, some of you will find it after you've gone and experimented in the workplace for a while. So don't think it has to come immediately. If you don't have the answer immediately, go into work, because it taught me a lot as to how businesses should actually run. Then as I was doing this, I just felt, and I think those of you who will find yourself in entrepreneurship, there's something you will feel. You will feel like the world is not right. Do some of you feel that? I think we're hearing voices in this generation really calling out, something in the world is not right and we are done keeping quiet about it. And I think because what we are seeing, entrepreneurship is not simply about starting a business. Entrepreneurship is about a conviction to solve a problem. So remember that. It's not a business, because even if you end up at a job, employers of the future don't want people who come in 9 to 5 to be told what to do. I am an employer and I don't want employees like that. They want people who are problem solvers, who are innovators. So no matter what you do, what problem are you fixing? That is what should disturb you. Not what job are you getting, not what business are you starting. That's the first thing. What problem are you actually fixing? So as I was talking to people, I realized the problem is not your banking. The problem is not the shares you might buy on the stock market, which I can explain later. That's not the problem. The problem is people don't have a fundamental understanding of how money works. So I left my employment to start doing that. At first, I was helping them with their investments, but along the way, the conversation took a different turn, where they would tell me, I'm trying to retire, I want to buy a house, I want to buy a car, I want to save for education, I want to save for a holiday, I need to help my family back home, and I don't know how to plan my finances. Then I realized, was I ever taught this in school? Have you been taught in school? No. Was there any degree, bachelor's of learning how to manage your money? No. So there was a gap that was missing in society, teaching people how to manage money. So I started my business Centonomy in 2009, simply to teach people how to manage their money. It started with one person, and I realized one person, every time I talk to another person, 80% of the problems are the same, and Centonomy became like a school. So today we have taught in different ways, using technology, in physical forums like that, over 1 million people on how to manage their finances and how to start a business. Yeah? And why I link it back to my experience here is for all those who find you as in-between students. You're not bad, you're not good, you're okay, not completely being noticed in school. I was one of those. I was quiet, yeah? I was an average student, but it's not that. When I came out, what Kenya High School had given me was the ability to talk to anybody from whatever background they came from. And that is what I used in the business. So don't underestimate that what you are getting from each other is exposure that will work for you. But back to his question, let me start with the entrepreneurship. We must stop talking about unemployment and start talking about who the job creators are going to be. Because it's not about the government giving jobs and availing jobs. I know they keep talking jobs, 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 but it's about the environment in which jobs can be created, and people like you can decide, what am I good in? What am I skilled in? What can I actually do? And I would like all of you to embrace a spirit of experimentation. You may not know the answer outright. Even for me, Centonomy wasn't my first business, but everything you do is a step. So even after you finish, especially for those finishing Form 4, you have a gap before you go to university. What are you going to do? Because that's when you can say, what service or product or solution can I give one person? Then start understanding, as you give that to more and more people, is there a market for it? Is there a need that is being addressed? And what entrepreneurship really is starting to arrange yourself, your time, your networks, and the resources around you to solve that problem for more people. That's all there is to entrepreneurship. How do I solve that problem for more people? So yes, back to what Ayub was saying, is this something we all have to start thinking about? Not as back in the day, we used to be told, if you're in business is for the people who have failed school. That was if you start a business, you have failed school. But now I'm gonna say, no, if you start a business, it's just that you want to solve a problem in a different way. It's just that you are committed, that you have the personality and the character and the discipline to be able to learn and start to manage resources around that business. Yes, I do think more people are going to be doing what I do in different ways. Because what are we seeing? I think such a good question because of what we are seeing. I did see until what happened recently. That what we are having is an intense financial literacy problem. In fact, I'm really challenged about taking what I do to the next level. I haven't seen it the way to be exposed to me now. So I think when it comes to money, you will get out and you will start earning your money. But the principle of your money is how you will run your business. It's not what now we're looking at is how the economy needed to be working in the first place. So you start earning your money, and the thing I'll tell you with that, even as you look at it, maybe what I start with, what I cannot spend more than I have, I should invest, I should grow well out of it. So what I'd like you guys to see, even as you think about it, is you'll start earning money, but now I need you and your generation to move from just people who earn money or even save a little money to people who are actually wealth creators for this economy.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Zeppelin, this is interesting, is it? Wellness and well-being. And we earlier had a chit-chat about it. And what was the motivation behind you venturing into this area? And is it a career you studied? Is it a passion you, afterwards your graduation, realize it's something that you can achieve? And for those who are willing to also get into this space, what's your call?
Good morning. Yeah, my name is Zeppelin Oma, but I mostly go with Zepp. My friends call me that. The government calls me Zeppelin Oma. And I'm so happy to be here today. When I was told if I can come here, I was so privileged and I felt happy and blessed to be in front of amazing, amazing girls who are coming out of school and joining us to the world outside. So I studied music and political science, which is totally different from what I'm doing at the moment. The first time I joined a class, a wellness class, something in me was awakened. When I left the class, I felt like I dropped something and I left it in the class. It's like I was carrying a weight on me. And I didn't realize that, because it's something we don't learn in our culture, on how to take care of our minds. The way we take care of our body, we go to the studio, we do fitness. The way we take care of our souls, we go to church, some go to mosque, some go to temple. But no one talks about our minds. Yet this is such a powerful thing that we have. If it's not well taken care of, we can easily slip off, especially on how we respond to life and especially how we respond to other people. So when I joined that class and I left, I knew something in me really wanted to keep doing it. And I wanted to step into a space of knowing, how can I take care of myself? How can I work around fear, stress, anxiety? And it's sad that these are things that we pay in our life, that we happen to get in spaces that we are scared, maybe of even our exams, or something in life that you just feel like, am I going to make it? Will I do well? Or even stress at home, or stress with our health. And what wellness does is it steps into that space of helping you to regulate your emotions. And that's where I am. I run retreats in Nairobi, outside the country, and classes one-on-one, private classes and group classes. And where did I studied this? I went to Barcelona in Spain, and I took a course on how to integrate wellness and mental health. Later on, I went to India to study traditional Chinese medicine, which, if you're familiar with acupuncture, it's a different way of how you can put your practice, your exercises linked up to helping your mental health. So I'll be here to hear from you and get your questions, and being able to maybe drop something into your cup that can help you with how you can manage your stress, how you can manage fear or anxiety.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Ken, you received an applause from the beautiful ladies here upon coming on the stage with your guitar.
Yes.
What inspires you, and what led you to this particular field?
It's interesting. Those who have spoken, can you hear me? First of all, I say, hey, you young people like greeting one another. Hey, is it? Hey or yo? So, somebody wrote that to me on my WhatsApp, one customer. I said, what's this guy? What does he want? What does he mean? Yo. Anyway, what inspired me? From childhood, I was interested with working with my hands, carving things without having any formal exposure or education. I would get a nail, put it on the jiko, make a chisel, cut a branch, carve a boat out of it. And then from there, I started making bigger boats, destroyers with guns, with all full furniture and everything. And then I thought, why don't I try making a guitar? In 1971, that's how old I am. In 1971, I started the adventure of making a guitar. The first guitar I ever made was an electric guitar, which, by the way, is much easier than what I have here, an acoustic guitar. I didn't bring it to play it, I just brought it as proof that I do make them, huh? Okay? I may be a bit rusty in playing. So I just plugged it into, and this is creativity, plugged it into the gramophone. We used to have these things called gramophones where you put a disc and it's played by an arm. Okay? So I plugged it into the arm of the gramophone and it played. Hallelujah, Eureka. Anyway, I give God the glory for all that. It's not mine, it's his gifting. And it's not for me, it's for others. And that inspired me to greater heights. There are people who would come and tell me, you can't make a guitar, they're imported. You can't make it yourself. I would fall, I would get up and try again. And since then, I've had careers outside making guitars. I've been an HR practitioner. I graduated from USIU with business administration. But I've gone full-time into making the guitars and teaching others. I have an apprentice right now under me. I've had other apprentices before learning the skill. And if you don't mind, Ayub, I'll just show this quickly so that they know it's true. This one, I want to encourage you. I made this one in 1987. Okay? I've made for many artists. Now, that keeps encouraging me, inspiring me. Some of the top artists, they come, I make for them. I make what they want. 10-string classical guitar was the last one I did. And so the journey continues. As I get older, I'm not getting less. I believe in what the word of God says, that you will bear fruit in your old age. And I'm bearing more and more. I have a greater vision. I want to reach a point where we stop importing 98% of our musical instruments. Let's start making them here.
Thank you, Mr. Ken Mlamba. I mean, that is inspiration, is it? That he was told he can't make it, but he... So this was in 1987?
Yes.
87.
But I started in
71.
Form 1.
You were in Form 1 then?
Yes.
Some 3 years. that is some 3 years before Senior Council joined the Kenya High School. So one line of question, then we take and field questions from the beautiful ladies here. I'm sure you have a lot to ask. Then thereafter, we'll limit because of the timing aspect. But the ladies and the gentlemen and others will be here to tell you more about the specific area you want to understand more, you want an emphasis in getting to understand further. So be ready. The microphone will be going around, so we'll balance it out per section. Then you'll direct the question to a specific person who is seated here. So the two engineers, given what COVID had done to the world and the realization that the human potential has not been explored even to its limit, and what people have done through technology and how the workspace has literally changed, then what does the new frontier and the world look like, especially for our Kenyan context here, where we see a lot of young ladies and women now in education because of the clarion call to make sure that the boys and the girls both get quality education? What does the future look for us as a country, given that STEM appears to be now crucial as to what as a country in the next frontier we will be?
So thank you so much, Ayub, for that question. So I think I would say that for us to continue thriving in STEM as a country, it requires concerted efforts. And this is all the way from, the curriculum in the schools, as well as the industry and all that we do for the country. And it all starts with the policies that we have as a country. That's why for me, I am an engineer, but maybe later when you go to school, when you have access to internet, you will go through my profile because I always believe that my mission is bigger than myself. And everything I do in this world, as it has been said in this meeting, is as I serve humanity, I believe that it's service to God. And everything, I remember Wes Moore, who is from the US, once said, there's a difference between your job and your work. My job is engineering. That is what gives me an income. But my work is to create a positive difference in society. And that's why for me, when I leverage my engineering skills, I'm able to make a difference. And the reason why I proceeded to pursue a Master's of Public Policy is because personally, in my own capacity, I do a lot for society. I do mentorship in the energy sector. I am a member of the Energy Sector Agenda Committee for the past 5 years, and I've done quite a lot in that sector to promote gender mainstreaming in the energy sector. I developed the first gender mainstreaming policy for Ketraco, and I've been so instrumental in spearheading non-discrimination in the energy sector in Kenya. So when you see the head of state commendation, as Senior Counsel Betty says, it is not because of the work that you do, it's not because of your job, it's because of that additional thing you do for society. And for me, that thing is fostering gender equality. Not to say that we are trying to be better than men, no. We are trying to create a world where both men and women can coexist to make the lives of people much better. So for us to be able to leverage the power of STEM, it starts from the policy perspective. When I went to pursue a Master of Public Policy, I remember I was asked, what is the interlink between engineering and public policy? And I was like, you know, as engineers, what guides us in implementing our projects, and everything that we do as engineers is captured in policies. And as a change maker, it's good for me, it's good for us to understand the limits and possibilities of policy making. And that's why I did not really divert from my engineering career, but I proceeded to go and diversify my skills in public policy so that I can be a better change maker. So that when I serve my country, serve my community, I'm able to do it in the most efficient way possible. So it has to start from the policies, and then we also have to make sure that the organizations leverage the power of technology. We are in the world of AI, and if you're looking at some of the emerging careers in STEM, I mean, there are careers in science, there are careers in technology, there are careers in engineering, there are healthcare-oriented careers, but we also have the emerging careers where now we are leveraging the power of AI. Referring back to COVID-19, I remember if you read the story of how different developed countries leveraged the power of technology, you saw that even some robots were used to deliver food and medicine to some of the patients of COVID-19. So we have to look into this as a country, make sure that we implement the policies and put in place the structures and strategies that help us to leverage these aspects of artificial intelligence. And because, you know, artificial intelligence is just using computers to mimic the human intelligence. So it's something that we have to be open to if we have to thrive in STEM. And before I get back to you, Ayub, I want to just say something that really inspires me. And it's a quote that says, every girl, no matter where she lives, has the opportunity, or should be given the opportunity, to develop the promise inside of her. I've come to Kenya High School today. It's not the first time. The first time I started my mentorship journey in 2018, I had just survived an accident in 2017. And I went directly to Akilidada, and I'm sure you maybe know Akilidada. And the first place where I came to mentor was Kenya High School. I remember it was somewhere, I think, in the dining hall, and you inspired me. And after that, I've gone to so many schools all across the country. Recently, I was in Turbi Girls in Marsabit. And, you know, the story is the same. We are trying to encourage you to try and partake or uptake these STEM careers, because we are there to hold your hands. As it has been said, at least you have mentors, people to look up to. So please, we want to change the statistics from the, you know, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, where they say that for all the total students enrolled in STEM courses in universities and tertiary institutions, only 30 to 35% are female. Please, let's join hands. You have the mentors, you have the inspiration that you need, and let's come together to spearhead careers in STEM. Thank you.
Ayub, like you said, the 2020 season of COVID was a life changer. And I think particularly for us who are in the STEM industry, I think it opened our eyes to the fact that things can change in the blink of an eye. We used to go to the office. I mean, we only did our designs, our interactions in the offices. But after STEM, you know, you're not in, I mean, after COVID, you're not in the office for, I think we didn't work for maybe quite a bit, 3-4 months, face-to-face interaction in the offices. So what did that mean? We had to embrace technology. So many things came up that we were not used to. So whether it was having design meetings through the internet, we were very used to know you sit with your notebook and with a pen and we are writing and marking up drawings, but that now changed. So you have to keep up with the times. So you're working on PDFs or drawings or whatever else, and you have to use your mouse and figure out how to mark something up, update it. And it was an interesting time, particularly for me, just the new software that was there, getting to learn it, which is a very important thing when it comes to STEM. You have to keep in touch with what technology has. It keeps changing every day. There are softwares that we were using before COVID, a couple of years ago when I left campus. In fact, when I left the University of Nairobi, we were all required to do our assignments on a certain software called AutoCAD. But you're not taught that in school. You have to figure it out for yourself, take the initiative, learn the technology that is there. So COVID was a game changer. And I would want to encourage those who are interested in STEM. You have to keep in touch with technology. It keeps changing. You're using one form of something today, before you know it, it has changed. You're collaborating with people from the Western world. They use different things from what we do. And you cannot say that you will not take up a project or be involved in one because you cannot use the technology that is used outside. I mean, that is not an excuse. So we have to keep abreast with how the world is changing and make sure that, we keep in touch and are well-read and know what is going on the world over.
Ms. Washeke, earlier on you talked about solving a problem as to the entry point to the field of entrepreneurship and financial planning. But many would ask, and of course the young girls here would want to understand, then as much as I want to solve a particular problem, how about the capital aspect? Where will the finances come from? And the challenges that also lie ahead in terms of what to look into the nitty-gritty details.
All right. I once asked God that same question when I was in the phase of I had understood I like having conversations with people about money, but again, I know because I had worked, and I think where I worked at that time, there were very traditional institutions, banks, because in my time, remember we were told a good job is being an architect, a banker, a lawyer, a doctor. And now I think some of you are going to go into career spaces that we have never heard of in our lives, yeah? And I think you must be so open to that. But at that time, where I was coming from was that background. So as I was discovering that I like doing this and I would like to do it under my own business, and why my own business? I was moving from that very traditional sector. I was telling people I want to start a business teaching people about money, but nobody was quite doing it. Not the way I did it in form of it's going to be a school about money. Nobody was doing it like that. So people thought I was crazy. Even my own parents were like, what do you mean you're leaving the bank? And this conversation I had with God, I asked him, now how? I was also finding I'm broke at the same time. So I'm broke. Can you hear me? I'm broke. In another forum, I'll explain to you how broke I was. But I was broke, yet I want to go and teach people about money. Can you see the irony? And what you normally would think, for most people, they'd be like, that means I should not do it. One, I'm teaching people about money, and I used to wonder, if they ask me how much money do you have, where are your investments, what will I tell them? Yet I want to teach them about money. But as I talked to God and I prayed, God told me one statement that has always been in my head. You are mentally and physically able. What else? So even as we talk about capital and need of capital, first ask yourself, what is it that you need the capital for? Because sometimes it becomes a mindset block that you don't start until you have capital in your hands. And because I've done a lot of work with businesses who have capital, when they were first given the capital, in 3 months, that capital has been misused. Because it's not the capital that starts the businesses. Once you start, the resources start getting attracted to what you are already doing. In the business world, we call it proof of concept. Then if you do need capital, but for me, once he said that, I was like, actually, I just need to go and start solving one person's problem. That's why I said, go find one person, sell them, make that chair, sell them the chair, and then come and talk about capital. Understand what it takes to actually sell a chair to one person. And then you're like, okay, this is what I need for 10 people. Then this is what I need to make 100 chairs. But don't let money be what stops you, because once you get it going, and there are many, many, many ways to find different types of capital, yeah? But first I would say, get it going. Start. That one person. What does it lead to? And then also be open to the format in which it might take. You might start doing one thing one way and then realize there's a more efficient way to do a lot of other things. As I was doing this work and wanted to branch out into other products, I never thought I would be a writer. So I have published a book. I published this book 5 years ago called Making Sense. So my capital, my resources were not money. It was the ability to go have conversations with people. And then those conversations ended up in a book. Those conversations ended up in what I teach. So don't let capital be what stops you. Solve the problem, solve it for one person, solve it for 10 people, understand how it takes to arrange resources to make the 10 chairs. Then you can decide and have a plan as to why you need capital, because nobody's ever going to put money in your hands without a plan.
Okay, well noted. Thank you. Zeppelin, we are living in a generation where we appreciate how times are changing, but our parents also subscribe to the dictates of the previous generation. For example, if today you are to convince your mom or the beautiful faces, the girls who are here as parents, about them venturing into wellness and the field of, as you had put it, well-being, they would be concerned, is it? Because they first think about the monetary aspect. They first think about, second, they will think about in terms of the quick giving back to the society. I mean, how would you overcome such barriers in a society where we have generational divide between the current generation and the previous generation?
That's the beauty of where I am, is to integrate the previous generation with the current. About bringing money quick, it needs patience. Where I am, I call myself entrepreneur because I started from having one client to right now running a studio that has 3 classes a week and it's fully booked every time. Creating retreats outside Kenya, which I have a community. Thank you. And where I am at the moment, when I was beginning, my dad especially, he asked me, are you serious? You're not going to do something else? What is this? When are you doing what you needed to do? And I told him, I'm already doing what I want. And I felt the need of bringing mental health into our society and our culture. And it shocked me even when I wanted to do the class and learn how to create spaces. I was shocked on how I couldn't find places to study here in Kenya. There was just one school, but I wasn't interested to join that school. Then I started scouting outside and I realized, wow, this thing is going so big and high in other countries, yet in our country, we are a little bit back. So with the past generation, I have students who are way older than me, and it's what the class has made them feel and how it has helped them navigate life that has made them still come back and opt for the classes. Since COVID time, a lot of people were stressed because life seemed to be ending all of a sudden. You wake up in the morning, you hear there's this trend moving around, killing people. We have to be, stay in the houses by yourself, no more social scenes, no more interacting with other people. And that was shock to everyone. And after COVID, with my space, that's where everything grew, because most people started opting for their mental health. They realized that actually there's something in us that needs to be taken care of. And when they started working with that period of what happened in COVID, they realized there's some other traumas and other pain they've gone through before. But what we do usually is we put it under the carpet, we move on with our life. But what wellness does is brings you back into clearing that carpet and understanding that life can be hard. You can have scary moments, but it's how to look for balance between good and bad.
Okay. Mr. Ken, passion and what you do at your age, what started in 1971 still is very fresh. You still feel vibrant. You still look forward to moving forward. What's the call to these young faces here who will be out of here in a couple of years' time, some by next year, on the consistency in loving what you do, putting passion first?
Yes, that's very important. I never consider that somebody has a lesser gift than somebody else. Whatever you have is given by the Creator, and you are made in the Creator's image. Therefore, you are creative. I'm creative. And He has put it in me, the passion for whatever I am doing, and I keep the flame burning. For me, I keep looking for new ideas. Fortunately, there's internet these days. I didn't have that in my day. There were no computers. The first computer I saw was 1980s. Maybe 86, 87, big mainframe, which did less than what our mobile phones do. So you guys are exposed to so much, but it's to use it wisely, and it can spur it on. Believe in yourself. What God has given you, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Believe that you can. Sometimes it's even our parents. I was in the arts area, and I was good at sciences in school. I scored A's in biology. I didn't want to do medicine. I didn't want to do any of the sciences. And when I got to Form 1A, I had to drop art because clever students didn't then do art. Okay? That was the system then. You didn't do art if you were clever. So I had to drop it. And I envied my friends who were in schools that had technical subjects. Nobody taught me anything technical. I had to teach myself. You got to chase it yourself. You got to believe in yourself. Be healthy, like you have just heard. That's part of it. Entrepreneurship, that's part of it. And keep the flame going. And that has kept me going till now. And I don't believe that there is retirement. I am this old. I'm never going to retire until there's no more breath coming out of this body. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mlamba. So what started in 1971 is very fresh in him, and his candle is still hasn't died down. So we'll field questions, and we'll limit because they will be here. So we need to also work on our timelines. We'll be meeting them in person. Seek further information, emphasis where you want more clarification on. So, tuanze wapi? Yes, at the back there's a hand. There's the two ladies here. The lady in the specs. Watu wamechangamka, mko sawa kabisa. Yeah, so and to the person you want answered. So the two engineers, we have Mr. Ken Mlamba, Madam Washeke, and also Zep. Yeah, on the specific area you want, you will mention, then they will be able to respond to your question, okay?
Okay, my question is to Mrs. Mutinda about the AI. Okay, AI is already a problem solver in our environment. We are all evolving into embracing AI so as to solve problems. But according to what we all think, AI, as much as it's solving problems, it's sort of locking some of us out in the fact that the dockets that for example, software engineering, it's becoming a bit extinct, should I say? Because like if AI is here, some of us will be locked out. For example, maybe you want to be a software engineer, you can no longer be a software engineer because AI is bringing out things like ChatGPT. If you want to come out to something of sort, you can just go to ChatGPT and get your problem solved out. So what is the STEM environment doing to ensure that some of these careers are not only locked out, but we can still see some of the opportunities coming out in the field? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We'll come to you. We'll come. So we are taking at least 5 questions. So that is on AI. The engineer will respond. Someone, yes, and then we'll move the microphone at the back.
Okay, so my question is...
Before you proceed, the gentleman, kindly msaidia Sharon kuzungusha mic so that she covers, we cover good ground. Yes, please.
My question is about wellness and well-being to Zepli. My question is about superiority complex, in the sense that when you are trying to pursue your dream and you are maybe one of the first people in it, people who've been pursuing dreams such as engineering and medicine, you feel like you're doing something new, and then some people will look down upon it, others will discourage you, others will think it's not as smart or as advanced. I hope you understand. So I want to ask you how you dealt with that. And then my other question is about where your field will move into, because the world is moving to a more technological era. So where will mental health fit in? Because now you can get your problems solved on AI. You can get counseling on AI. You can do everything there. You don't need to go to see a person or go to a studio or have conversations with people. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, Sharon, we go at the, yes, this, we'll come to you. Tutawakujia.
Which side?
Yeah, there was a lady here. Yes, there.
Pardon?
Saidieni Sharon hapa.
Which side?
Wewe wenda upande hii, twende nyuma. Yes. Sharon, the young lady there.
Okay, my name is Natalie Mushiri. I'm in S2. I have a question to Madam Washeke. So my question is, banking is a really nice profession. So why did you not decide to merge both banking and teaching people about money, but you decided to stop it and start a new profession? And also, is there any time when you're teaching people about money, you've ever felt frustrated because anything has happened and reconsidered stopping teaching people about money and gone back to banking?
Okay. So the 3 hands that are up, you can come up front here. Muulizia hapo mbele. 1, 2, yes, 3. Yeah, I'll come to you. So I hope you have noted down.
Come, the ones he's pointed.
Yeah.
Hello.
Some silence, please. I know lunch is near, so msio na wasiwasi. Mambo iko sawa. Yes, please. Aendelee.
Yeah, my question is on engineering, STEM. How can STEM be incorporated into medicine without losing the human touch? Like I've heard of robots doing surgeries on behalf of surgeons, which I don't feel is very okay. So I'm wondering, how can STEM be incorporated directly into medicine without losing the human touch?
Thank you. That's noted by the engineers. Yes, please.
So my question is to do with like careers that are not looked as okay, careers that we don't look at them as specifically like smart careers, because like okay, my mom and I were looking at my questions to Madam Washeke Ndwani. My mom and I were looking at like universities, and I really wanted to like expand abroad. And when I mentioned to her that like I felt the need and like the passion to like do business, even though I don't know what the specific gap I'm going to like solve is, she looked at me like there's no point in like us like paying that kind of money for you to just go and do business studies. You can just do it in high school, and then when you go to university, you can like specialize in doing like medicine, and then like business. You can like ujipange like later. You do that business at that time. But like I don't feel that specific calling to like do. Okay, I'm not saying STEM is bad, but like I don't feel like my mind is oriented to do math after high school, and like so like yeah, so I just wanted to ask for some help there, because like there's a lot of discouragement in like doing this other courses. Yeah.
I'd like to ask a question concerning STEM. How do we navigate the risks that are brought about by STEM? And the fact that most of the projects that are coming up concerning STEM right now are really treated with skepticism from people. Look at something like AI or things like brain chips, like Neuralink from Elon Musk. People treat these projects that we make, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of research. Something like Neuralink, the brain chip that's implanted into people, trying to help bring back the sensitivity of people who are, let's say, disabled. Things like those brain chips, people are treating them with so much skepticism. So something like AI, people are saying it's dangerous, it's going to bring about dangers that you cannot fathom. So how do we navigate those risks? The risk that in as much as you might come up with something that's very important, something that's very helpful, something that will change the world, people will treat it with skepticism and it may not work out because it will lose popularity.
Okay.
So how do you navigate those risks?
Thank you. You keep them brief, okay? So that thank you, please.
So my question is to Mr. Ken, and mine is to ask, how do you manage expectations of people and at the same time satisfy your own dreams? Because at the end of the day, we are our parents' investments, like many people have said. There's what they expect from us, there's what our teachers expect from us, there's what our colleagues in general expect from us. And at the end of the day, there's also you get lost in what everybody wants and what you as well want.
Okay. That's to Mr. Ken?
Yes.
Okay.
My question goes to the two engineers. During the holiday, I had this news about that in Vision 2030, the kids that will be born, that means our kids. The kids that will be born during that era, that the government is moving away from the birth certificate whereby we do the paperwork to the microchip that is being inserted to the body of the kids that will identify the name, age, like your life will be controlled in a system. And here you say that the engineers, we are problem solvers. So my question is, how is that era whereby our life, the life of our kids, will be like in a computer whereby if I want to destroy your life, I can just go through a system, hack it, you're done. How is that going to solve the problem? And lastly, if you say that engineers are scientists and you have brought about this thing of technology, and my question is technology changing in the future for the best or for the worst?
Thank you. So the two, yes, you have here's the microphone, yes. Please, yeah, to the principal.
Thank you, it's working. I also would like to ask a question on behalf of my girls. This one goes to Zeppelin on matters to do with mental health. And I wanted to request that you maybe comment something briefly on low self-esteem that may be caused by either one of the following things. One, consistent poor performance, and someone gets into very low self-esteem, they don't believe in themselves, and the effect of that in their performance in future. Low self-esteem, again, that may have been caused by maybe the background where this child is coming from. And when they come here, they feel like they don't fit, this is not my thing, and they are not able to perform well. Also, I would also want you to comment on something about family background issues and how they are affecting now performance of these children when they're in school, because they keep remembering about the things that possibly are happening back at home, causing a lot of mental issues. And the connection between what you think, what you take in as an individual, and your output or your performance, either at your place of work or in the classroom as a student. Kindly, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Principal. So a bulk of the questions are here. I start with you, Engineer. Yes, I know there are many and you've written down, so we keep them brief. Yeah, thank you. And then Engineer, then we go to Asheke, Zep, and then we'll come to Mr. Ken.
Thank you. Oh, thank you for the brilliant questions. I think there's not even a sufficient way to answer these questions, and I will try my best. On the question on AI locking out opportunities, I think sometimes with the leveraging of technology, there comes all these challenges on what would be the impact of technology on, the human beings, on human behavior, and on just what we are used to doing as people. And sometimes it can be rigid when it comes to technology because we think now we will be, extinct, will no longer be useful as human beings, and we won't be needed because everything is being carried out by a computer. But I think technology, in as much as could be challenging, it comes to help society. And we can't really say you will be extinct because technology always evolves. And that's why with technology, there's always aspects of research and development on how best to leverage all these technologies, because each day the technology is advancing. So as young engineers, or the future engineers, as future innovators, as future scientists, if that is your interest, I don't think you should be worried, because for this machine or for this computer to give the output that is there has to be someone who is giving it some instruction. In the case of ChatGPT, I mean, I'm so surprised because when I went into school first for my master's, and she said, I never knew much about AI. And then I was wondering, I'm from Kenya, from a system where we are used to studying, to reading PDF documents from page 1 to page 50. And then I was in class enjoying Oxford among other smart students. People were answering questions very fast. And I was like, what's happening? What am I not doing right? I'm reading, I'm trying to get the answers. And then I realized people are just feeding these questions into, ChatGPT and getting the answers. But I can tell you for sure, sometimes I say don't overuse AI because it can limit your thinking capacity. I'm so proud of myself because I installed ChatGPT for once in my computer after completing my studies. I never used it at any point in my studies because I wanted to leverage my full potential by thinking. So I don't think you should be worried because it's just a complementary effort, and technology comes to assist us, to help us to become more efficient and more effective. I don't think the role of technology is to replace. And then how do we navigate the risks? I think, with the risks that are there are challenges of data privacy. There are also challenges of how do we make sure that we consider diversity, inclusion, and accessibility in terms of artificial intelligence and technology. I mean, there are policies that are always put in place, and there are strategies that are there to deal with this. And I believe anything you do, there's always a risk attached to it. Even when you're eating your food, there's a risk of choking. So it's the same thing. There's always a risk, but there are also mitigation measures that are always put in place to mitigate this risk. So with technology, there's always research and development, and I can assure you that technology is not coming to make our lives difficult. It's coming to make our lives better. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I like the interest that we have around AI and the changes that it is going to bring and the impact it will have in our lives. And I think it's important for us also to have a better understanding of, of what it is. The lady who mentioned that it will take away the jobs. AI, remember, uses computers. There are codes that need to be input to enable these systems to work, which needs humans to do that, to develop the things. If it is developing intelligence to perform a certain kind of thing, humans are the ones who have come up with that idea that needs to be dealt with. So we shall never lose the human touch. When it comes to things like medicine, just like Engineer Winfred has said, there are definitely policies that are in place and mitigation measures that are in place to make sure that human beings are protected and taken care of. There are certain things that I would imagine, I don't know too much about the medical part of it, but I would imagine, surgeries, maybe I don't know, a hip replacement or a knee replacement, or things that would be done. You need to do this, then do this, then do the other, then do that. I think maybe machines can do that. But if it's issues that would be life-threatening, you would need the human touch, definitely. So also there are policies that would make sure that human beings are protected also. There was the question on the Vision 2030 kids and having having the microchips and privacy. Again, we have people like, our senior counsel who advocate for human rights. So definitely those are some of the things that would be dealt with before these things are rolled out and impact the lives of whether it is Kenyans or, others in other places. So I don't think we should be too concerned about AI. I think it is to learn more about it, understand it, take the time to read, and see where you can fit yourself into that technology and the advances that it is making.
Yes, Washake? Ms. Washake?
I had two questions and one had two parts. Let me start with the second part of the second question. Have I ever felt like stopping? Yes, more times than I can count. Have I been frustrated? Which day am I not frustrated? Yeah. And that you have to understand, entrepreneurship is that. I have days when I literally cannot get out of bed. I've gotten out of bed, gone, and then gone back and entered my pajamas and slept because what is facing me is just too much. But what keeps me going and is passion has been definitely part of it. I'm very passionate about what I do, but more than passion, you have to mix it with conviction.
What are you convicted about? So what I'm convicted about is everybody was put on this earth to create wealth and live abundantly. He came that we may have life and have it in abundance. That is what I'm convicted about. So when I meet a person, I'm like, how do they create wealth? And wealth is beyond, it's about not living day to day, but able to actually define for yourself what is important for yourself, and then let money be a tool for that. So if it's about your family, that's wealth. If it's about your community, it's wealth. If you're able to take a holiday, that's wealth. If you're able to sponsor yourself and go abroad for a degree, that's wealth. If one day you're able to take a year off to think later on in life and have the resources to do that, that is wealth. Yeah. So I'm very convicted about it. And what keeps me going is even when I'm having hard days, I meet, first of all, I come to sessions like this and I'm like, my work is not finished. Then I meet people and their lives have been transformed by something that we taught. And they come back and say, I bought a house. I'm helping my parents. And I'm like, I'm going to keep this going. My business has moved from myself to 7 employees. I'm like, I've got to keep this going. So it's a conviction that God has put in my heart that this is my purpose in life. And along as you go, may you find something that you can call purpose. Not just career, not just business, purpose. So that's what keeps me. Yeah, I may have a brief moment of staying in bed and then I will get up. Yeah. I did not merge with the banking because my interest is in the individual. It is in you learning how to make money work for you. To do that, I must be completely objective to the point that I can also tell you, and I do tell people, what products banks and other institutions have that do not work for you. So that is why I couldn't merge with banking, because you learn something about conflict of interest. I would have a conflict of interest because I'd have to teach you something that if you enter a bank, at the end of the day, they want to sell you a financial product. So their interest is in the sale or the commission the person who's selling even an insurance product will have. Some of those products will work for some people, but for you it may not work. So my interest is making sure you understand how they work so you can choose this works, this doesn't work, depending on what my goal is. So I had to stay very independent. Okay. And I've even refused money so that I can stay independent. Okay. Yeah. Careers that are not smart, yeah? I just want to be clear, doing a general business course is not what made me an entrepreneur. That was not, in fact, if you're after entrepreneurship, I don't know, unless some universities have changed how they teach it, generally that's not what is going to teach you entrepreneurship. And I think, let me validate the girl who asked me and her mother as well. What your mother is probably concerned about is what skill is going to come out of all this, because we have also seen many businesses that are just a business. There's nothing unique about it. And I think we're moving from the point of having a business and being self-employed is very different from entrepreneurship. Self-employment is just, you've created yourself a job in a business that you happen to own. But entrepreneurship is the ability to see further and understand how does this business become an impactful business that changes something in my life, changes something in the lives of people around me, changes something in my community, and then doing that journey. To be clear, entrepreneurship is also learned. Many of us learned qua ground, but we still learned. But these days, there's so many places, including the internet, you can start learning. How is entrepreneurship actually done? How do people run businesses so that they are sustainable, so that they are paying their bills, so that they are lasting over 5 years? Centonomy, we teach that. So even if you decide it's a business, I think you have to show your parents, what are you learning to become better at? I run a business, but I still have a skill. I am very skilled in talking to people about money. Even I teach in the US this. I go to universities there to teach people how to about money. Yeah, but it is a skill. So don't just run a business for the sake of there's a business. Mm-hmm. What am I getting better at? And as I said before, even to convince your parents, you have to show them that you are actually committed to it, because they've seen many businesses go up and down because of people not being able to run a business efficiently. So please understand, entrepreneurship does take time. It is something that is skilled. That is something you're going to have to work at, and it is something you're going to develop along the way, including the character of an entrepreneur.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Zeb.
There was a very interesting question that you asked about being in the space where one of the career or the business is not as big as understanding being a doctor or being an engineer or a teacher. First, one thing that made me moving is the passion that I had. I really wanted to bring that to my community. I wanted my community to understand that you can really take care of your brain as well as you're taking care of your body and nourishing your body with food and nourishing your soul with prayers, or maybe going to mosque or going to temple. You can as well take care of your mind so you can center your entire body. So one thing that helped me a lot was passion and also trusting the process, because what I had I did have huge trust on what I had, the knowledge and what I was giving out. And I was ready to bring it into the space so that other people can benefit from what I had, which it has really paid well. It's 6 years down the line, and I'm very grateful. Another thing is being confident with what you have, what you're doing, trusting and being confident that these that I'm giving out, it's truly helping, it's bringing impact. Also selling it out, talking to people about it, creating spaces for workshops that I don't even need to earn money in those workshops, but giving them just a drop of the ocean that you have, and then they realize, wow, this is really good, and then they start coming for proper sessions. So it's you putting yourself out there, trusting what you have, and being honest with yourself. Is this really what I want? If it's what I want, you're going to find ways to make it happen. The second one was, where do I see my business going, especially with the AI and the social media? And we are there too. And the way you mentioned that AI also, you can type and get advice and all that, but human contact is very different. You coming to me to have a conversation on self-esteem maybe, or anxiety or depression, the way I'm speaking to you, it's very different from how AI is going to pick the conversation. Yes, it has the knowledge, but I have the human emotions. And yes, it's going to continue with social media. There are people who have apps, that's where we're going to, but I'm going to record myself and have it as me in it, but not just as a robot speaking to you. So I'm very confident about the future, and I'm looking forward to being there. Self-esteem, we mentioned about studies. Maybe you're having issues with accepting who you are, or settling in from the family that you're coming from. So I'll talk about the family first. The family where we come from, there are things we can't change. And that's what mental health helps us with, to understand that there are things we can change and there are things we cannot change. If it's something I can't change, there's something I can work within me. The reaction I have towards something I can't change. And mostly the reaction that you have to that, it's what brings the outcome of who you are and how you respond to life. So if I'm coming from a family that's not well enough, with maybe poverty, if I'm coming here and I know I can't change the situation right now, but I can work hard to make sure that I'm not in that space, or to make sure that my family gets even better. But how can I do that? Not to think a lot about my family, is to self-care. Self-care is one of the biggest form of helping you with your mental health. Self-care is accepting who I am, taking care of who I am. The ways I can take care of who I am is, one of them is journaling, writing down my emotions. How do I feel right now? Why do I feel like this about my family? Or why do I feel like this about the exam that I did and I did not pass? write down all the emotion, release all that fear, all that pain of not having it, and then you create a space of you to step into a space of being better and doing better. Another thing is self-forgiveness, forgiving yourself that, yes, I did not pass my exam and I would like to do it better. But if you move past not doing well in your exam, you're moving with anger within yourself that I did not do well. I read that, I wasn't able to answer. Maybe there was something that you captured when you're in exam and you did not get to respond well. So in forgiving yourself, in not doing better as you would have wanted to do, you're creating a space for you doing better in coming next. Yeah, I won't explain it, but I just make it as a point, as a gratitude note, writing down whatever you're grateful for and letting it open the way for you for the next.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Yes, Mr. Ken.
Thank you for the young lady who asked, how do you manage expectations and your parents' expectations also? And I'm assuming these may be contrary to one another. Just to say, as parents, because I'm a parent and I've also been a child of some parents, as parents, we want to see our children succeed. Your children, you were brought here to study, and your parents have an expectation of you to finish. Even if you don't get the A's, they will still be happy when they've seen that you have finished. That's always gratifying for a parent. Now, of course, there are systems of the world that have expectations. You finish this level, then after that, do a degree. That's a normal course. And then now do masters, and now maybe PhD, excuse me, and get a good job, and you can support yourself, and we are happy as parents because we know that even the course that you took, it brings in support for yourself and your family. You can stand. When parents see that you can stand, then they're happy. But there are times, like happened with my own son, we would have liked him to go and do a degree. And we tried, we fought, not physically. He would beat me, by the way. Anyway, we fought, and not physically. And eventually, after sitting down with my wife, we said, let him take do the thing that he wants to do, which was music and in entertainment industry. For me as a parent, I saw, well, look how many entertainers, which way are they going? Are they earning a living? It's difficult. But what is easy in the world? That's the other side you look at it. What is easy? Nothing is really easy. And I think one thing you can do is, when your expectations are different from those of your parents, at least certain stages you must go through. This stage you have to go through. Then when it comes to the degrees, the choices, whatever you want to do, explain to them whilst honoring them, not shouting at them, but explain to them, why do you want to do this? Having done your research, of course, about what you want to do, having done your research, because we don't know everything as parents. There's some things we don't know, and especially in our generation, okay? But you having done your research, seeing the future, seeing the vision that you have, explaining it to them, that will help come about. I'm not saying it will always work, but it will help bring about. And sometimes you can get a middle ground and say, I will go and do maybe a general degree, like, business administration, which you can use if you're in engineering and other aspects. I'll go and do, and that may be acceptable to them, and then specialize in whatever area that you might want to do, and when you're out of their fold, so as to say, and then you do it. I know there's a child, I'll finish quickly, Abdi. He went, did a degree, what the parents expected. He came back, gave the degree and said, here's your degree, now I'm going to do what I wanted to do. We don't want things to be like that. We want you to be in sync. And to honor your parents is success, and we want to have peace. God bless you.
Thank you. A round of applause for them. Makofi tafadhali. Thank you, Engineers Winfred, Wamboi, Mr. Ken, thank you so much, much appreciated. Asante sana. It's so refreshing listening to you at this age, yet so inspired, so passionate. Ms. Zepp, Ms. Washeke, thank you so much for your input, much appreciated. We don't take that for granted. You are a reservoir from which these young faces are drinking from and getting that experience. So more of the questions, if you may have any, they will be here in person. During the break sessions, you'll be able to talk to them on more clarity, more questions that you may be having. I know there are some who may be shy in coming forward to ask the question, but they will be here, so don't worry about that at all. So I now hand over the microphone to Sharon, and then we proceed from here. But again, a round of applause for them.
Wow. Okay, thank you, thank you. You may take your seats back. Thank you. Give them a good round of applause. Yeah, I will make a few comments. I was just listening to the conversations and the questions. So the week before last week, I had a panel with UNESCO on AI. And I'm very amused at how people are very interested in that area. And I was also learning. I was on the panel talking about intellectual property and where it crosses into AI. But there was a script writer who was talking about how he's now using AI to write scripts. And the one thing I learned, he said, was this: you can actually use AI to further your career and to help you. So AI is not replacing him. He's using it to help him to write the scripts, yeah? So don't be worried. AI is not taking away anybody's career. You can actually use it, leverage on it to continue to do your career best. The other comment I wanted to make, Madam Principal, I liked your questions on behalf of the girls, yeah? And they made sense. And I felt like I needed to share this. When I was in BOMA, my parents were going through separation. And at some point, it was very difficult. But I found a teacher who was like a mentor and a friend. And she helped me through that period. Initially, she used to call my mother for me. My mother was a high school principal, but in Western. So she used to call her for me. I would talk to her. And she helped me through a very difficult period. Did you hear what our guest of honor said? Seek out mentors. Also seek out help if you're going through anything at home that you cannot change. Again, remember what Zep said? There's some things you cannot change, okay? But you need to find help if you're going through something like that, yeah? And it helped me go through that, and I still did well. And I'm standing here, and I've been able to do well, okay? So whatever you're going through that you cannot change, seek out help. By the way, I have now worked for a long time in private sector and now in government, and I'm now at top management. I have never sat in an interview panel and heard them ask, did you grow up in Shags? Did you grow up in Nairobi? Were you poor? Were you rich? Never, ever. I have never had that question in an interview. They're interested in what you have done and what you can do. If you are in Kenya High, one of my regrets, by the way, I sing also in my church. I've sung in gospel groups. It's not as a career, as ministry. But one of my regrets, I'm always like, I was in BOMA where there was pianos all over the place. And I never got to learn how to play the piano. What am I saying? You are in BOMA, use the opportunities you have in BOMA, okay? Learn how to swim kama umetoka ushago. Learn how to swim in BOMA. Learn how to play the piano if you can. Use the opportunities you have in BOMA. A lot of schools don't have these things, okay? Use the opportunities you have in BOMA. I also saw the questions were just around STEM. Well, that is a theme that was chosen because of the many technologies and where we are going, yeah? But guys, remember, kuna lawyers hapa, hello? Kuna madaktari hapa, hello? Kuna teachers hapa, that's why some of us are daughters of teachers, hello? Yes, there are other careers. And today, kuna hata pastors. By the way, I have a former classmate who is a pastor. She runs a church with her husband. Kuna hata pastors, okay? So many opportunities, so many careers. So remember, when we go out, you have an opportunity to talk to anybody and everybody as you try to make up your mind what you want to do, and the Lord will help you, okay? So now we're going to have one song. We wish we had a lot of time, then we'd have a lot of songs. But let our choir give us one song as we go down to wind up our program. It's the orchestra. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Karibu. A round of applause for them. beautiful. Thank you, orchestra. Thank you. I'm now going to call upon the president of the Students' Council, class of 2024, to come and give a vote of thanks.
Our chief guest, Senior Council Advocate Betty Murungi, our moderator and distinguished panelists, our chief principal, Miss Virginia Wahome, our deputy principals, President of the Alumni Association, Louise, and all alumni present, Kenya High staff, all invited guests, Form 2s, and lastly but not least, the Laurels. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. So, the Bible says that this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Now, this day has been made for us. We shall rejoice and be glad, for we have been offered the opportunity of having distinguished guests amongst us. Now, when such an honor as this is presented to us, gratitude is due. So first and foremost, I would like to thank you, our chief guest, for gracing this occasion with your presence. Allow me to comment. You are a true definition of a lady of substance. You all are proof of success. And all of us here are honored to have you, and I'm truly honored to be in your presence. Personally, I have learned a lot from this session. I have learned that career profession is not linear, and that we should maintain a sense of curiosity because education is never ending. But most importantly, what she said, you should never forget yourself. Do what makes you happy. I have seen our guests here have passion for what they are doing, and that is what makes them wake up every day to continue doing what they are doing. A wise woman once said, when an opportunity is presented to you, you grab it. So one thing I learned from our guest is that she likes young mentees. The last time I checked, I'm very young, very young. So I wouldn't mind being one of them. I wouldn't mind being one of the mentees, and I'm sure all of us here won't mind. Will you mind? I'll be very honored to be one of your mentors. As I conclude, I would like to thank all of you again for gracing our event. I believe that this event wouldn't have been the way it has been without you here, and we do not take it for granted. I would like to thank the Alumni Association for organizing this event, and the principal for accepting and letting us have this event today. I would like to urge all of us, let us take this opportunity to build ourselves and align ourselves with the thought of becoming ladies of substance and ladies who command respect without introducing themselves, just as the guests here today are. Thank you.
Wow, we are waiting for you in the Alumni Society. I'm going to invite Cindy Kodhiambo, class of 2013.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cindy Terry Kodhiambo, class of 2013 from Suswa House. Any Suswarians? It's a pleasure to be here today, and I'm very grateful. I would like to thank the school for allowing us and preparing and giving us the resources to make this a very, very successful day. Thank you so much, Ms. Wahome, for being very caring of the girls, of their well-being, of the staff, and the resources that you have availed, and also the girls being so ready. Today I met very many happy girls, and they seem to be enjoying this career day. Miss Betty Murungi, thank you for giving us your time and for taking us through what life has had to offer and how you've inspired others. I was very inspired as well. And I would like to thank the staff, Miss Maina and Miss Mwanda, Miss Shage, Miss Munuhe, Miss Washuri, Miss Munyoki, and the Reverend for being here, for taking care of the girls, for also looking at what the girls are going to take for today. I remember when I was in Form 2 and we were choosing subjects, this was a very key day for me because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had so many interests. There was the sciences, there was the arts, and the in-between. And now I am an advocate and I have a community here of the Kenya High School alumni. And this has allowed me to be able to navigate the changes in life, the changes through technology, and that is something we're all going to benefit from. Now, today has been successful because of the steering committee from the Kenya High alumni, headed by Miss Louise. Thank you so much for your leadership, for your guidance, and for following up on every aspect to ensure that everyone who took their time has managed. There's a DJ, there's media, there's social media management, there's the girls giving gifts, there's been attending to the vendors, the mentors coming, and that is a very important part of today. I would like to thank the Secretariat. In absentia, there's Miss Jacqueline Wahenya, who is the part of the Secretariat. There's Caroline Gaduru, class of 91. There's Dr. Jacqueline, Dr. Priscilla Njako, there's Joyce, myself, and Isabel, who was a former chair lady who has also been advising us. The interns, there's Vivian, there's Tamara, and Sophie, Annabelle, Lorna, Mukami. Thank you so much for giving us your time, for giving us the sum of who you are. Your presence today has made it very, very special. And with that, I'd like to welcome Miss Louise to give a vote of thanks. Thank you so much.
This one is for falling. I get to talk properly now, but I'm being motioned that we have a time issue. Now, first of all, you guys don't wear blazers anymore. Do you have blazers? Why don't you wear them for such an amazing occasion? Yes, that's the only girl I've seen with a blazer. But you know what we're going to do, principal? Give them nice stripes and house colors and sports colors and what, so that they can be proud to wear those blazers, you know, for merit marks, for gardening, for creatives, for things, so that they can work proudly. Don't you feel good when you go to other occasions and you see them wearing their blazers? Don't they look good? Anyway, you will deal with your mother here. Maybe the student council can write a pitch for that, so that we can see those blazers and that emblem, that crest shining wherever you go. Okay? So that's good. I'm glad to see her with a blazer. Now, I want to just say one thing about what these Kenya High School old girls have said about their experiences here. I was a big head. I was what you call a kichwangumu. Yeah? That, for some strange reason, I never got punished. Unless it was a communal punishment, like a class punishment or a house punishment. That doesn't mean, I wasn't also a bit naughty. I think we're all a bit naughty. But why I'm saying I was a kichwangumu is because Mrs. Mwendo was my social ethics teacher. You guys don't do social ethics anymore. I find that sad because it was a really important subject. And when I came to the Kenya High School, I had a father who was an engineer and a mother who was a medical practitioner. So what do you think they expected from me? My mother wanted me to be a doctor. My father wanted to be an engineer. Let me just tell you, none of those 4 children got any of that. And I'll tell you why, because when I got here, I was index number 005 in primary school. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know index numbers. That stressed me out because I expected to be index number 001. But I came here and discovered everybody else was index number 001 where they came from, right? So I thought, how am I going to do this? I thought I was smart. Kumbe, there are other smart ones. So you come from being what used to be number 1 in class to being suddenly you're number 30. You're like, hey, okay, you mean? My saving grace in this school was that our principal at that time always insisted on the holistic education of the girl child. That means that you could find your space here. And I'm sure you girls can do the same. You might not be good in biology. You might not be good in history. But you have a skill that you have, as Mr. Mlamba said. You have a passion that you have. Those girls sitting there playing those instruments, they're excelling at that. My saving grace was the piano. That was my saving grace. I came having studied piano, so when I got here and found the school has 12 pianos, 12. I can tell you for a fact, most of my days were spent in chapel. Most of my days were spent in the music room. And because I was a school pianist, I was very fortunate that the principal allowed me to miss prep, to miss some of those activities so that I can practice. Not that I was practicing all those things, but on paper, I was practicing. And it gave me joy. I found that space to go and release those few stresses that I had. I was one of the people who enjoyed coming to school. You know, people never used to enjoy coming to school. People used to start crying at the end of the holidays. I loved coming back to school because I was like, my piano, I need to come back. I didn't have a piano at home, you know. And I composed a lot of music in this school for the choir and for the 4th form choir. And we did a great job. I had very, very good mentors, school pianists who came before me. So I found that niche. Coupled with that, Mrs. Onimbo, who taught me history, decided that she will make me a history buff. And she mentored me. And I sought her out. I used to go and see her all the time. I got a straight A in history. And that is what led me, coupled with social ethics, to pursue political science. Now, if you see the result slip of my Form 4 exam, you can think there are 2 different people who did that exam. Because all the liberal arts and humanities are A's and B pluses. And, sorry, STEM people. The biology, the physics, the chemistry, yeah, it was way back there. So you wonder, who is this person who did this exam? Yeah? But I did get to go to university, so that's okay. And I told my father, I'm not going to be an engineer. I'm not going to be a doctor. I want to pursue political science. And that is what I did. And my father left me. He told me, girl, because he used to say girl all the time. Yeah, I had that father who say girl. Girl, you do you. Yeah? You do you. But it took me talking to him and telling him, look, I want to do this because of 1, 2, 3. Put me in a medical lab and I'll blow up the lab because really I don't know what's going on, right? So find those mentors, find those people who can help you. Pick your passion. This school is too well equipped. You guys don't know what privilege you have to be in the Kenya High School. You have such a big privilege with all these grounds and everything and people to take care of you. So find your space, find your mentors, find your passion in this school. I'd like to thank, as usual, you have all been thanked, the important people. I want to thank the people who take care of you. As usual, you have your matrons, you have your house mistresses, you have your house counselors, yeah? You have also Mr. Kilu, Mr. Mugaka, Mr. Meta, all those people who make sure you're sorted, yeah? You have Miss Abigail in the library with her staff, and of course, you have Miss, I call her Siombata. I don't know what her last name is, the Kenya High School caterer, who makes all this, ensures that you're well nourished in school, yeah? I can tell you for a fact that these ladies and gentlemen who are in this school taking care of you are only here so that you do one thing, you excel. You excel, yeah? You have gardeners, you have people who take care of you so that you can excel. So that is my message to you. I'm very, very grateful. The head of school, Vicky, I think you're a pearl. The way you talk, the first time I met you, the way you talk, you're very far beyond your years. So you have also a very, very good head of school here. I've had some conversations with her. She's very forward-thinking. She's very exposed. And I'll tell you for a fact, she and her deputy Ruth are very, very vested in you people. They are very vested in you. Don't think that blue rags are there just for the sake of. They are there and they are vested. They really want you people to succeed. And the burdens that you have, they are also carrying them for you and mediating with the administration. Yeah? So thank you very much, Vicky, for that. Ayub is yawning. Thank you, Ayub. I'm very grateful. Yeah? We need to do another tea. Yeah? High time. I really hope that your star goes even greater than now. Really. That it goes further because you have so much to give this country. Alone, running panels like that. Did you see him with notes? No. Where did you see his notes? Here. Like that. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, are you taught that, how to do those things? No, it's a skill that you nurture and grow, and he has nurtured and grown it. So at this particular point, I'd like to welcome some of our captains. I think Form 1, is there like an overall Form 2 captain? Whoever she is, please come forward. I'd also like to have the overall Form 4 captain, if there's one. I'd also like to have the head of school and BOMA 2. Please come forward. And I'd also like to have, do we have, I'm seeing some red rugs here. Is there any red rug here from which house? Nyali. There's no other red rug, huh? Oh, you're already a red rug. For which house? BP. Me, I was in Chania. But that's besides the point. I didn't contribute much Mary bags to the house. I loved my sleep. I used to be like, I even used to miss breakfast. Anyway. Anyway, the reason I've called these ladies here is because we want to give out some awards. Red rug, could you also come here? I need another red rug. I need another red rug. Who? Okay, whoever she is, come. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unfortunately, we don't have any matrons in the house. No, there must be in the dining hall. Huh? No matrons, no house counselors, no house mistresses. Huh? 1, 2. Okay, I think we're enough now. I need 7 of you. You're 7? Okay, there's a reason we're doing this. You see this gentleman and this ladies who were here don't we want to thank them? Like properly, like really properly. And our chief guest, that is why I've asked these girls to come up. So we're going to have them give some of the gifts that we have here for our guest. We'll start with you at the end. I'm waiting for Miss Chege to bring them out. Just give me a second. By the way, Miss Chege was my senior in school. It's very strange, yeah. She was my senior. If you can please help them.
Everything I be wanting, manifested from my heart. Everything you be wanting, manifested from
So let's see what we can give them. You know, we like to appreciate people. We're going to start with our esteemed panel moderator, Mr. Ayub Abdikadir Abdi. If you can come forward, and we'll have one of the girls here give you a gift. No. Come, Abdi. We need to be in front of the camera. Yeah. So if you can just give him his gift and thank him for being here. Yeah, with us. Yeah. Right. I see we have many upcoming journalists, huh? At this rate, huh? You know his signature dress. You know what he wears is double breast. You know, he wears a double breast suit that is so. Hey, you have to appreciate God's creation. Mungu aliumba, si aliumba. Okay. Next, we have Engineer Winfred Mutinda, HSC Winfred Mutinda. Please come forward and receive your gift. Come. In front of the camera. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Let's have the next red rag presenting, please, to my rabble, my mono. Mono is like a Form 1. My rabble, my mono, Miss Washeke Sheken Duati. Yeah. And I'm coming for those classes because I think I need them. Yeah, here you go, here you go. In front of the camera. Yeah. Thank you very much, Sheke. We also, Sheke, I think I've known you since we grew up in the same estate. So I think I've known, oh, we shut up. We keep quiet. All right, let's move on to the gentleman on the panel. And this one I'm so happy about because I'm also a music buff and a classical instrument buff. Mr. Luthier par excellence, Ken Mulamlamba. Yes. Thank you. And by the way, tomorrow from Mr. Mlamba is happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Right, it is birthday tomorrow. Yeah, you guys thought I couldn't sing. Right? All right. The next gift will go to Zep. And Zep, I think what you said today, we're going, even me, I'm carrying it forward. I'm carrying it with me. I am a mother of Gen Xers. Yeah? So, no, of Gen Zs. I'm a Gen X, sorry. No, Gen Z. You guys are? All right. So I know, I understand now what you've been saying and how I can also, relate to these girls' parents. So please come and receive your gift. Come forward, please. Yes. Thank you very, very much for that. Thank you. And now, engineer. By the way, what she didn't tell you, Wamboi Kivadi, is she's a consultant engineer. That does not, it's like saying senior counsel in the legal profession. Okay, it's the same. That is the rank, consultant engineer. It's not just she went into consulting, yeah? So there are people of manner, okay? So Miss Consultant Engineer Wamboi Kivadi, please come. Thank you very much. She looks like a BOMarian, eh? Yeah. Get a gift. She looks like a BOMarian. We'll adopt her. We'll adopt her so that we can say we have consultant engineers. Yeah? And now, Madam, who changed my nappies? It's not a joke. Yeah? So, hey, Betty. What do I say? Come. Come, Betty. Come, Betty. Please. Betty, I don't know what to say, but you know. Receive your gift first from BOMA 1 to BOMA 1. BOMA 1 to BOMA 1. Right? So you can see what you're going to be. Woman of substance.
Vicky. My heart is beating. Ebu, tell me, how do BOMarians look?
There's a look. Like this.
My heart is beating quite fast because I was saying to Nyabura here,
Yeah, she calls me Nyambura, imagine.
because she's, I actually did change her nappies. She and I were neighbors growing up, and she's the age of my second youngest brother. But just getting this gift from Vicky, it brings back, I feel so special. First, being head of school for me wasn't a very happy experience. The girls, we were not elected. I'm told you guys elect your prefects. Oh, okay. We were selected by the teachers. And so the student body started off by hating us. Can you imagine they had a nickname for me? They called me Napoleon. It wasn't very nice. And the reason they called me Napoleon is when I was in high school, I was a little on the chubby side. And they were mean. But you know what? I had the support of the prefect body, and I worked to earn their trust. And hearing you cheer for your student body president just warmed my heart. So thank you very much. I stood here for a whole year. I used to stand right here, bang in the middle of the hall, and say grace. So today I'm going to say grace for you when the time comes, just because it brings back such wonderful, wonderful memories. The red rags who are here, just seeing you in your sweaters, and the blue rags, just seeing you people in your sweaters, you've done so much better than us because we didn't have the school emblem. We never had it. Did you have it? We didn't have it. So now I have to go and buy myself a sweater to just because I have my blue rag sweater in my home in a box, but now I have to go and get one with the school emblem, just because you all look so beautiful. Okay, our school uniform is ugly. We can all admit. Yeah, but you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why? It wasn't designed for black skin. Okay, this uniform was designed to be worn by white girls because this school started as a white girls' school. And so gray looked very nice on white skin. But we love it all the same because I think we must be the only school in Kenya that wears all gray and brown shoes. You know, nobody else wears brown shoes and ankle-length socks. So we love our uniform all the same. And when our former president, Moi, tried to change it to maroon, yeah, so we resisted. We did maandamano. And we will stay gray forever. Thank you very much, girls, for the wonderful day and the wonderful gifts. I'll be, of course, joining the other mentors outside and speaking to whoever wants to speak about human rights, about the law, about governance, about peace building, and all of those issues. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Louise.
Isn't it just a wealth of mawaidha? So we are all going to go and download this evening, right? Right? Woman of, again, woman of, again, woman of. Aha. Now, the more you repeat it, the more you'll become the same, right? So thank you. I would like to release you now. Thank you so much. And I'd like to call Mwalimu Mwenda. And I'll tell you why I want to call Mwalimu Mwenda. She doesn't even know. That's why she's looking at me like, no. Yeah? Because she's not just an old girl of the Kenya High School from 1978 when she finished her O-levels. But also she has been passionate serving this school since 1989. 88, I was in Form 1. Since 1988, and she's still here. She's still here, yeah? She was Betty's junior, but she's still here, keeping on, pushing on. So I'm very, very, very grateful to this lady. You don't know how grateful I am, because she's keeping the traditions of Kenya High alive here. And she is the one who is going to present our flowers to our host, the Chief Principal par excellence, Miss Virginia Wahome, HSC. Welcome and receive your gift. Can you please stand up for your principal? Please. This here is Kenya High, the past and the future of Kenya High.
All I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, for I know who I am.
Woo! Thank you, Mwalimu. Thank you, Mwalimu. You may have a seat. She has an amazing job that she has to do here. Yeah, when I was here, we were only 800. You can imagine she's managing nearly triple of that amount of girls. So you guys, please be gracious to your principal. Be gracious to your deputy principals. Be gracious to your teachers. They have a hard job. Yeah, and they cannot please everyone, but Miss Wahome aims to please everyone and to do well by everyone. So please pray for her to have more strength, to have more energy, to have more time, to have more understanding. Yeah, that is what I ask of you. I know you girls are prayerful people. Now, thank you to my team here, Miss Sharon. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you to all the people who've been helping us here along the way. Because we're going to close now, we will have Sharon tell us a little bit about what's going to happen this afternoon, so that you have an idea. I know you've gotten the brief, but just briefly, she'll tell us where you're going to go, where the guests are going to go. And then after that, we will have Reverend Dr. Kamau come and give a prayer, and Betty Murungi give us grace for this afternoon.
Thank you. A round of applause for Nyambura. Nasikia anaitwa Nyambura. Okay, Mr. Maina, you come and help me do the announcement on the cock activation. Kindly. You give us direction in terms of how you want us to do it, because of time is gone. Sorry, Mwalimu.
Sorry for that. For the interest of time, I'll be very brief. We are going to restructure a bit from what we had in our program. We were supposed to take our lunch exactly at 12, but now it's about to get 1. So what we are going to do, we will allow the Form 1s and Form 3s to have lunch first. For us, all of us after here, we will walk through the gong area where we are going to get cock activation. By the time we are through, the Form 1s and Form 3s would have finished with their lunch. Then now we will join the dining hall for our lunch. Then the rest of the program will roll as it was planned. Thank you.
Thank you, Mwalimu. For our guests, our panelists, at the Nyao canteen in the boardroom is where we'll have our lunch. So that is where we'll move to after. I think we're going to have the school hymn first, and then Reverend will come and pray for us, yeah? Let's be upstanding. We are being helped by our orchestra and our choir. I vow to thee, my country, all earthly things above. Enter and whole and perfect, the firmness of my love. The